Chapter 51 Luo Xiu's Achievements. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Luo Xiu has killed 7 of the 15 snow demon wolves. Regarding the remaining 8 snow demon wolves, Luo Xiu was not very sure that they could pass through the 3rd floor of the Flying Dragon Tower as their true energy was about to be exhausted. Buzz, the shadow sword trembled and made a crisp sword cry. Deadly sword. This sword move is the strongest move Luo Xiu can perform so far, and it is the second move in the Aurora sword technique. A snow demon wolf swung its claws, and blood spurted out. The demon wolf howled in pain, and one of its claws was cut off directly, dripping with blood. Kill! Luo Xiu let out a loud shout, and the aura on his body suddenly exploded. An overwhelming murderous intent surged out. The 8 snow monster wolves opposite him were frightened by the murderous intent in him and did not dare to step forward for a while. Snapped, with a movement of his body, there was no trace on the snow, and a series of 7 afterimages flashed. Luo Xiu's body was like a rainbow light, appearing in front of the demon wolf whose claws had been cut off and injured before. Ouch! The snow demon wolves roared and attacked with bared fangs and claws. Their claws were as sharp as those of low-level human warriors. Their indestructible teeth would not let go once they were bitten. Puff. 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 The 7 afterimages left by the movement were torn apart by the other 7 snow wolves. The black sword light swept across, and Luo Xiu fell to the ground, half kneeling on the ground, his chest heaving and breathing heavily. The body of the snow demon wolf fell to the ground, its head rolled down, and hot blood sprayed out. There are still 7 heads left. The long sword shook, shaking off the blood on it. Luo Xiu narrowed his eyes, flashed his body skills, and killed the general. The 7 snow demon wolves also roared and roared in unison. Then Luo Xiu has been in for so long, why hasn't he come out yet? Isn't this guy hiding in there and not wanting to come out? It's almost noon, and I heard that Lin Jingyun is already waiting at the decisive battle platform. Do you think he died inside? This is absolutely impossible. The formation restriction in the Flying Dragon Tower will teleport instantly when the warrior's life is threatened. No one has died in thousands of years. Just as many outer disciples outside the Flying Dragon Tower were talking to each other, a white light suddenly flashed and appeared from the Flying Dragon Tower. Come out, come out! The scene in front of him changed. Luo Xiu appeared outside the Flying Dragon Tower, and the snow wolf was no longer in front of him. His face was slightly pale, and his clothes were torn in many places, but his eyes were shining brightly. Because of the fight in the Flying Dragon Tower, he still exuded a sharp and murderous aura. After all, he was unable to pass the 15 snow demon wolves on the 3rd floor of the Flying Dragon Tower. After killing 13 of them, his true energy was finally completely exhausted and he was unable to use any martial arts. He was about to be killed by the last one. The 2 snow demon wolves were torn into pieces and then teleported out. This trial and fighting gave Luo Xiu a deeper understanding of his own strength. Let's see how high Luo Xiu ranks. Looking at how exhausted he is, he should be ranked among the top 500, right? Many people present turned their attention to the ranking stone tablet next to the Flying Dragon Tower. Almost everyone's eyes were focused on the densely packed names below, looking for Luo Xiu's name, but everyone searched for a long time, but could not find Luo Xiu's name. How is this possible? At this moment, someone pointed to the 200 most eye-catching names at the top. Seeing this person's behavior, everyone couldn't help but feel their hearts skip a beat. Could it be? I saw that Luo Xiu's name was listed at the 130th place. The original number 200 was directly squeezed into the densely packed names below. Luo Xiu. Number 130. Oh my god, how is this possible? He is the 3rd level Qi high. Everyone couldn't help but gasp, because this kind of thing had never happened in Xiaoyuemen. Generally, those who can enter the top 150 are at the 7th level of Qi C. The highest record ever held is that a genius with the 5th level of Qi C ranks among them. And today, Luo Xiu once again broke and refreshed this record. With his cultivation at the 3rd level of Qi C, he was comparable to many people at the 7th level of Qi C. Not only that, to be ranked 130th, among the 7th level of Qi Si, is also among the masters. His cultivation level is at the 3rd level of Qi Si. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But cultivation level cannot fully explain the strength of a warrior. Luo Xiu must be very skilled in martial arts. I heard that his body skills are very exquisite, especially his sword, which is as fast as lightning. But he probably didn't get past the 3rd level, otherwise his ranking would be higher. Almost everyone looked at Luo Xiu with shock. A guy who had just entered the Xuanhuan sect and had a 3rd level of cultivation could achieve such results after entering the Flying Dragon Tower for the first time. This is really terrible. Compared to the Flying Dragon Tower, the busiest place in Xuanhuan at the moment is undoubtedly the decisive battle stage. Yesterday, the life and death duel between Luo Xiu and Lin Jingyun had already spread among the outer disciples. For a newcomer to actually challenge a relatively famous figure among the old students, this is a rare thing in Xuanhuan's thousands of years of history. The battle stage is located in the center of the martial arts arena, the general competition. Platform is 2 meters high and 10 meters long and wide. The decisive battle platform is 5 meters high, and the length and width are also 5 meters. Standing in the center of the martial arts arena, it stands out like a flock of chickens and stands alone, highlighting its special status. The space of 5 meters long and wide is not very big. Once you get up there, you will be in close combat, life or death. As time goes by, the scorching sun hangs high in the sky, gradually approaching noon. Then why hasn't Luo Xiu come over? Is it because he is afraid of death and doesn't dare to come? Once you apply for a notarization of the duel of life and death, you must fight. If you are too afraid to come, your cultivation will be revoked and you will be expelled from the outside. If you come, you will die. If you don't come, you will die, hehe. Luo Xiu is also mentally ill. The 3rd level of Qihai challenged the 7th level. He still thinks he can defy the will of heaven. Although there were many people gathered at the decisive battle stage, no one was optimistic about Luo Xiu, because this was a duel with suspended strength. Speaking of which, so many people came to watch the battle because Luo Xiu, a new disciple, had quite a reputation. Being ranked first in the entrance examination is nothing, but there have long been rumors in the outer sect that he is very close to the sect leader's daughter Lu Mengyao. During the examination, the deacon Zhang Luoyang made things difficult for him, and even asked the sect leader Lu Feichen to come forward in person to not only protect him. Next, Zhang Luoyang was thrown into a water prison. If it were not for his connections in the inner sect, Zhang Luoyang would definitely die. Not far from the battle stage, an old man with a white beard sat on the top floor of an attic, with a sneer on his face. Young people are impatient and too immature. The white-bearded old man picked up the teacup and took a sip, the sneer on his face getting stronger. This white-bearded old man was the outer deacon responsible for the notarization of the duel, and he was none other than Zhang Luoyang. In fact, it was Zhang Luoyang who secretly gave Lin Jingyun and Jiang Dongqing the trouble to find Luo Xiu, but after learning the lesson from last time, Zhang Luoyang didn't dare to do it openly, so he asked Lin Jingyun and the others to use Lu Mengyao as an excuse to attack Luo Xiu. Things evolved into a life and death duel. This situation was exactly what Zhang Luoyang wanted. You think you can sit back and relax with the sect master protecting you? In this outer sect, I have many ways to kill you. Zhang Luoyang drank tea, hoping that Luo Xiu would not come. In that case, he would have an excuse to do it himself and destroy the little beast's cultivation. Then he would die how he wanted him to die. Coming, under the scorching sun, a young man in black came with a sword on his back, attracting the attention of everyone present. He actually dared to come. Many people looked surprised. Since Luo Xiu dares to challenge, maybe he has some special means. There are also a few people who feel that Luo Xiu is not that simple. There must be something fishy in him that he dares to challenge even though he knows he will die. That's right. Any means can be used in a life and death duel. If Luo Xiu has a life-saving treasure, or a one-time attack formation treasure, he might be able to kill Lin Jingyun. Someone suddenly realized and did this speculation. As Luo Xiu came closer and closer, everyone saw that his body was covered with blood and his clothes were damaged in many places, as if he had experienced a tragic fight. The scene suddenly became quiet, and the crowd surrounding the battle platform made way for a passage. Luo Xiu stepped forward with a calm expression. On the death battle stage, Lin Jingyun stood with his sword in hand, a look of pride on his face. Just when everyone thought that this life and death duel was about to begin, they saw Luo Xiu walking onto the stage, sitting down cross-legged, and then took out a pill and put it into his mouth. What kind of game is this? Everyone looked at each other in astonishment. However, Luo Xiu didn't care and directly began to refine the medicinal power in the elixir. The true energy that was lost in the Flying Dragon Tower was quickly restored. Lin Jingyun frowned. He sensed that Luo Xiu was recovering the lost energy. What did he do during the life and death duel with him to actually lose all the energy? I looked up at the sun in the sky, and it was not yet noon. In the attic not far away, Zhang Luoyang put down the teacup and stared at Luo Xiu in the field like a torch, with no concealment of murderous intent. Suddenly, the crowd below was in an uproar, as if a basin of water had been poured into a frying pan. What? Before Luo Xiu came to the decisive battle stage, he went to the Flying Dragon Tower and ranked 130th. Oh my god, he is only 15 years old and has the 3rd level of talent. Are you sure this is not a joke? Questioning voices rang out, and what happened at the Flying Dragon Tower reached here. Everyone who heard about it couldn't believe it. It's absolutely true. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it, but this is really the truth. If you don't believe it, you can go and see it on the ranking stone tablet in Feilong Tower. Lin Jingyun is ranked 137th, and Luo Xiu's ranking is even higher than him. This is simply a monster. Lin Jingyun is in trouble this time. Lin Jingyun, who was standing on the stage of the decisive battle, heard such discussions. His eyes widened, and like everyone else, he couldn't believe what he heard. Is it because he went to the Flying Dragon Tower that all his energy was lost? Ranked 130th, higher than me. I am at the 7th level of the Qi Si, and he is at the 3rd level of the Qi Si. Although it was unbelievable, Lin Jingyun knew very well that this news could not be without aim. After all, those who can enter Xiaoyuemen are all geniuses, and geniuses are arrogant and will not deliberately flatter others, and the ranking stone tablet of Feilong Tower will not be fake. In Xiaoyuemen, the ranking of Feilong Tower is the proof of strength. Although there will be various factors in a life and death duel, and those with higher rankings may not necessarily be able to defeat those with lower rankings, the gap between them cannot be too large. Lin Jingyun took a deep breath, touched the storage wristband on his left hand, and looked at Luo Xiu, who was recovering his energy, with murderous intent in his eyes. There is no doubt that this is a genius with great potential. Now that he has faced off, he must do his best to kill the opponent at all costs and not let him grow up. Last night, Deacon Zhang gave me 2 treasures and told me to kill this Luo Xiu. Even if he ranks 130th, I will definitely not lose. After weighing things up, Lin Jingyun calmed down his mind. The 7th level of Qi Si and the formation treasures given by Zhang Luoyang restored his confidence. The time has come. Suddenly, Zhang Luoyang stood up slowly in the attic, spread his voice with the blessing of true energy, and said loudly, "Outer disciple, the life and death duel between Luo Xiu and Lin Jingyun begins now." In an instant, everyone's eyes focused on the decisive battle platform. Through the induction of the fluctuations of Jinqi, everyone discovered that Luo Xiu's Jinqi had not fully recovered, and the time for the duel has arrived. Chapter 52 Golden Sword Qi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Miss Lu is here too. Lu Mengyao, dressed in a long blue dress, appeared near the decisive battle stage, causing the crowd to burst into exclamations. For more than half a month, Miss Lu and Luo Xiu have been very close, and it is well known to everyone in the outer sect. She was once the most dazzling and proud daughter of the Xiaoyao outer sect. She was at the Qi Si level at the age of 10 and at the 9th level of the Qi Si at the age of 18. Her talent in cultivation was unparalleled. Just when everyone thought she would soon break through the innate world and become an inner disciple, she suddenly disappeared for several years. When she returned 4 years later, her cultivation level declined instead of rising, and she was now only at the 5th level of Qi Si. However, Lu Mengyao's special status in the outer sect will not be affected by her cultivation. Her popularity in the outer sect is so high that even the top masters cannot match it. She frowned and glanced at Zhang Luoyang, who was in charge of notarization in the attic. The woman's keen intuition allowed her to speculate that the life and death duel between Lin Jingyun and Luo Xiu must be fueled by this old guy. However, Zhang Luoyang had the support of the inner sect elder, and even her father, Lu Feichen, was wary of the power of the inner sect elder. At the same time, she also noticed that Luo Xiu on the stage had only recovered about half of his energy, which would undoubtedly affect his performance, although Luo Xiu said that he could kill the 7th level of Qi Si. The current situation was not good for Luo Xiu no matter how he looked at it. As Zhang Luoyang announced the start of the life and death duel, Lin Jingyun's body moved instantly. Since it is a life and death duel, there is no such thing as fairness or etiquette. At this moment, Luo Xiu was sitting cross-legged and was refining the medicine to restore his cultivation. It was the best time to kill him. Suffer death. Lin Jingyun's body suddenly rose up, and his white clothes turned into a white phantom on the decisive battle stage, floating and moving like clouds. 5th grade martial arts, Luyun Shenfa. Clang! The moment the body moved, the war sword was suddenly unsheathed. The trembling sound of the sword buzzed, the true energy bloomed, and the sword was like a sword, slashing towards Luo Xiu's head. Lin Jingyun struck very quickly and grasped the timing very well. At this moment, he was sitting cross-legged, making it difficult for Luo Xiu to avoid. Many people in the audience shrank their pupils. Luo Xiu had just been ranked 130th in the Flying Dragon Tower. Could it be that he was instantly killed with one blow? However, Luo Xiu, who was on the decisive battle stage, remained motionless, as if he didn't notice that the sword light that could kill with one blow was slashing towards him. Luo Xiu. Lu Mengyao clenched her hands tightly, more nervous than anyone present. A sinister smile appeared on Lin Jingyun's lips, and with a puff, the edge of the war sword passed by, directly cutting Luo Xiu's body into 2 pieces. The audience was in an uproar. No. There's no blood flowing out, it's an afterimage. Suddenly, someone in the audience exclaimed. The ferocious smile on Lin Jingyun's mouth also froze instantly. No one knew better than him that his sword had no feeling of force at all, and he did not hit Luo Xiu at all. What kind of movement is this? He clearly didn't move, so how could he leave an afterimage? Where did his body go? Lin Jingyun's expression changed, and he suddenly felt a strong wind blowing from behind his head. He turned around suddenly, just in time to see Luo Xiu punch out, hitting him directly in the head. Luo Xiu's punch condensed the black light of true energy, and a gloomy and cold aura spread. This punch, Luo Xiu did not hold back, contained the power of death in the 2 extremes of life and death, which could directly damage the opponent's life veins. If this punch hit, Lin Jingyun would definitely be beaten to death. Lin Jingyun was able to cultivate to the 7th level of the Qi Si after several life and death trials. He also felt that the black light on Luo Xiu's fist was full of danger. He used the Luyun movement technique of the Deshang realm to its extreme. His figure quickly retreated. At the same time, he tilted his head and narrowly avoided Luo Xiu's punch. After practicing the force-generating technique of Kuai Jian Ju, how fast is Luo Xiu's punch? Although Lin Jingyun avoided the fist with his body's instinctive reaction, the roaring wind brought by the punch hit him in the face. Ah! Everyone in the audience heard Lin Jingyun let out a scream, and saw that his left cheek was bloody, with blood splattering everywhere. The severe pain on his face made Lin Jingyun extremely painful, but he couldn't understand how the strong wind brought by Luo Xiu's fist could hurt him. A warrior in the Qi Si realm can protect his body with his true energy. He is at the 7th level of the Qi Si. If he wants to use his true energy and strong wind to hurt himself, he must at least be at the peak of the 9th level of the Qi Si. Even for a master at the 9th level of the Qi Si, the strong wind brought by the Qi is so powerful that it can directly break the body, protecting Qi to hurt him. However, the strong wind brought out by Luo Xiu's fist just now has no protective Qi at all. Any reaction would directly hurt him. The fight between the two was so electric that everyone in the audience could not help but be stunned. First, Luo Xiu left an afterimage, appearing behind Lin Jingyan like a ghost. He punched out, and the strong wind caused by it directly scraped Lin Jingyan's face into a bloody mess. Among the spectators in the audience, there were many masters who ranked about 100 among the outer disciples. Even they couldn't figure out how Luo Xiu did it. They even rubbed their eyes and thought they were looking at flowers. Blinded. What movement technique did Luo Xiu perform just now? He actually left an afterimage and appeared directly behind Lin Jingyan. Lin Jingyan clearly dodged the punch, but was still injured by the strong wind of Jinqi. Is this Luo Xiu's Jinqi comparable to the peak of the 9th level of Qi Hai? He is so talented that he has the 3rd level of Qi Hai. Many people feel chills in their hearts. The 3rd level of Qi Hai possesses such terrifying strength. He is simply a monster. The black energy that this little beast gathered just now is weird. Zhang Luoyang in the attic frowned, with a solemn look on his face, although it was impossible to tell that Luo Xiu had the special ability to damage life veins. He was, after all, a master martial artist at the 9th level of innate realm, and could sense that the power of death that Luo Xiu had just gathered was extraordinary. If one's cultivation has not reached the level of God refining, one cannot turn soul perception into telekinesis. Therefore, Zhang Luoyang only saw the strangeness, but could not see what was special about it. At this moment, Lin Jingyan's face was covered with blood on the decisive battle stage. His eyes staring at Luo Xiu were filled with fierce murderous intent and a hint of fear. Luo Xiu's punch just now made him really feel the threat of death. If it was not Jinqi Jin Feng that hurt him, but his fist or his sword, then he would be dead in one blow. Undoubtedly. Luo Xiu at this moment gave him a sense of unfathomable mystery, and people were full of awe and fear for unknown things. The repeated ups and downs of confidence made Lin Jingyan feel a little panicked. Gritting his teeth fiercely, Lin Jingyan's eyes turned red. It seems that I can only use the formation treasure that Deacon Zhang gave me. He turned his palm over, and a golden ball appeared in his hand, with dense and complex lines and runes on it. Luo Xiu, go to hell! Lin Jingyan shouted sternly, with a ferocious face, and frantically poured his true energy into the golden ball in his hand. Bright and dazzling golden light bloomed from the ball. Each golden light was like sword energy, cutting the air. They all made a hissing sound. It's a formation treasure. Contains metallic power, a 3rd level array treasure. The eyes of everyone watching the battle widened in the audience, because elemental attributes are powers that only innate martial artists can master. With the 3rd level formation treasure, it means that Lin Jingyan can use it to unleash an attack comparable to that of an innate martial artist. In the eyes of everyone, although Luo Xiu's strength is very strong, the gap between Xiantian and Qi Hai is completely insurmountable. Whoosh! 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 Sounds of breaking through the air sounded one after another, and 3 golden sword qi came towards Luo Xiu to kill him. Each sword qi was 1 foot long. Luo Xiu's first reaction was to dodge, but the 3 sword energies blocked all the surrounding space. Unless he jumped off the battle platform, he would never be able to dodge. According to the rules of a life and death duel, if one party falls off the battlefield, it is a failure, and life and death will be decided by the winner. Afterimages from all directions. Luo Xiu's figure shook, and 7 afterimages suddenly appeared. There are so many afterimages. What kind of movement is this? I have never heard of such a movement technique in the 1st level of Xiaoyao Pavilion. He must have had another opportunity and learned it from somewhere else. Luo Xiu's movement skills that revealed 7 afterimages were amazing, but those 3 golden sword energies were comparable to those of an innate martial artist. Can Luo Xiu really avoid them? The speed of the golden sword energy was very fast, and there were a total of 8 Luo Xiu on the decisive battle stage, including 7 afterimages and 1 true body. Boom! The first golden sword energy fell, creating a huge hole in the decisive battle platform and sending dust flying all over the sky. On the battle stage, Luo Xiu's 6 afterimages were affected and all collapsed and annihilated. Cut! Lin Jingyan roared, and the other 2 sword energies were slashed towards the remaining 2 Luo Xiu. One of them must be his true form. Boom! There was another loud noise, and the last after him it shattered and collapsed. In Luo Xiu's pupils, the third golden sword energy struck quickly. He had no chance to use his body skills to avoid it. At this moment, everyone held their breath, for fear of missing any subtle details. The golden sword energy was comparable to the attack of an innate martial artist. Can Luo Xiu be able to catch it? Flash sword, the shadow sword was unsheathed, and the wheels of life and death in the dantian rotated rapidly, and the energy of life and death surged out and poured into the sword. Boom! Unable to avoid it, the sword in Luo Xiu's hand collided with the golden sword energy. In just an instant, Luo Xiu felt as if he was struck by lightning, and he flew backwards with his sword. The terrifying power contained in the golden sword energy made the skin on his body crack, as if his whole body was about to shatter. Luo Xiu was hit hard and sent flying. The golden sword energy was slightly dim, but it still continued to fly towards Luo Xiu unabated. Deadly sword, the shadow sword in his hand was held out again, and the black power of death spread. This time the collision was indestructible, and the powerful golden sword energy finally shattered, and Luo Xiu's clothes turned into rags, his body was covered in blood, and no part of his skin was intact. Clang. He was half kneeling on the ground, using the shadow sword to support his body. Behind him was the edge of the decisive battle platform. He was just a little short of falling. A fierce energy rushed around in the body, and Luo Xiu couldn't help but cough up a mouthful of blood. That golden sword energy was comparable to an attack personally made by an innate martial artist. It was no mere talk. The energy contained in it was so strong that it far exceeded the level of the sea of energy. Luo Xiu was invaded by a ray of energy into his body, and his meridians and internal organs were all affected. Suffered serious internal injuries. The battle platform is full of desolate terrain, with 3 shocking potholes, which shows the power of those 3 golden sword energies. Opposite Luo Xiu, although Lin Jingyun also looked pale, his situation was much better than Luo Xiu's. Third-level array treasures generally require innate martial arts master-level cultivation to activate. Lin Jingyun used the 7th-level Qi-Si cultivation level to activate such a treasure, which would consume 7 or 88% of his true energy. Seeing Luo Xiu's embarrassed look, Lin Jingyun finally breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time he was also a little frightened. Those 3 sword energies were comparable to the attacks of innate martial arts masters. Luo Xiu was not dead. But it doesn't matter if you're not dead. Now you are at the end of your strength and you are destined to die in my hands. Lin Jingyun knew very well that he had to kill Luo Xiu, otherwise if he was allowed to grow up, he would definitely die. He held the sword in his hand and walked towards Luo Xiu who was covered in blood. Chapter 53 Lu Feichen's Attitude. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Stop. Seeing that Luo Xiu was in danger, Lu Mengyao's pretty face changed color and she immediately shouted. Lin Jingyun, if you dare to touch Luo Xiu, I will kill you. Although she was a female, when Lu Mengyao said these words, her body exuded cold murderous intent. Lu Mengyao's special status made Lin Jingyun fearful, and he couldn't help but stop walking towards Luo Xiu. He looked at Zhang Luoyang who was in charge of notarization in the attic not far away, and heard the message from the outer deacon. You can kill Luo Xiu with confidence. With my protection, the girl named Lu will kill Luo Xiu. I can't help you, but if you don't kill Luo Xiu, I will kill you. Hearing these words, Lin Jingyun's body couldn't help but tremble. Zhang Luoyang was famous for being insidious and vicious in Zhaoyuemen. Now, whether he killed Luo Xiu or not, he was already riding a tiger. I propose the life and death duel. If I didn't kill Luo Xiu, not only would Deacon Zhang kill me to vent his anger, but Luo Xiu would definitely not let me go. Thinking of this, Lin Jingyun's heart twitched, and he quickly walked towards Luo Xiu with his sword in hand. Lin Jingyun. Lu Mengyao suddenly became anxious, and immediately used her body skills to leap up, and was about to rush to the decisive battle stage, but Zhang Luoyang naturally would not allow her to do this, and stopped her in a flash. Miss Lu, I am responsible for notarizing the duel of life and death, and no one else is allowed to interfere. Zhang Luoyang said expressionlessly. Zhang Luoyang. Don't think I don't know it's you. get out of my way. Lu Mengyao's pretty face was cold, and a thin sword appeared in her hand. Zhang Luoyang was not afraid of Lu Mengyao's threat, and said calmly, as an external deacon, it is my duty to maintain the rules. I hope Miss Lu will not make a mistake. You. Lu Mengyao snorted angrily and swung her sword towards Zhang Luoyang in front of her. Miss Lu, you are too willful. Zhang Luoyang's face turned cold, and he slowly raised a finger, concentrating his innate energy. There was a clang sound, and his fingertips collided with the sword in Lu Mengyao's hand. Zhang Luoyang did not move at all, but Lu Mengyao was shocked and flew upside down in the air. At this moment, a strong arm caught Lu Mengyao in midair. Father. Lu Mengyao looked back and said anxiously, go and save Luo Xiu. That the person who caught Lu Mengyao was surprisingly the master of the outer sect, Lu Feichen. Lu Feichen frowned and said, have you forgotten the rules of the fight to the death? As the master of the outer sect, Dad must set an example. How can he wantonly break the rules set by our ancestors? Father, you. Lu Mengyao was stunned. She didn't expect that her father would not save her. Luo Xiu, go to hell. On the death battle stage, Lin Jingyun had already walked up to Luo Xiu, swung the battle sword in his hand, and slashed directly at Luo Xiu's neck, intending to chop off his head. Lu Mengyao happened to see this scene, and her heart was filled with despair. She closed her eyes and did not dare to look. Just when everyone thought that Luo Xiu had lost the power to resist and was bound to die, Luo Xiu lowered his head, a cold killing intent flashed in his eyes. At the critical moment, Luo Xiu suddenly raised his head, and a black lightning flashed through the air, and then disappeared. With a plop, Lin Jingyun's body fell to the ground, his eyes still widened. At the moment when his life collapsed, he finally saw a sword light that was extremely fast. You are the one who died. Luo Xiu slowly said such a sentence in his mouth. The last sword made him use up all his strength, affecting the injuries in his body, and he coughed out 2 more mouthfuls of blood. Everyone was stunned. No one expected that Luo Xiu would still have the energy to take action at the last moment. He swung his sword and Lin Jingyun was killed on the spot before he could even react. After a deathly silence, the crowd exploded. Everyone was talking about Luo Xiu's final swing of the ultimate fast sword. Luo Xiu's sword was already very fast, but some warriors above the 7th level of Qi Si could still vaguely catch the traces of his sword, but in that ultimate sword strike just now, only a black lightning could be seen. That was because Luo Xiu's sword movement was too fast, so many people couldn't even see clearly what it was. There is no doubt that in this battle, Luo Xiu's name is enough to impress the entire Xuanhuan sect. You must know that he is only at the 3rd level of Qi Si. If he waits for him to advance to the 4th level of Qi Si, or even the 7th level of Qi Si, wouldn't he be innately unmatched? Not only the people watching the battle, Luo Xiu was also reminiscing about his last sword with all his strength. Because he was fighting against the 3 golden sword energies, he was almost exhausted. He could only use 1 sword at most with the remaining strength. If he could not kill Lin Jingyun, he would definitely die. Therefore, under the pressure of life and death, the level of that sword clearly exceeded the scope of the Kuai Jian Ju Shao Cheng, reaching a level comparable to the Kuai Sword De Cheng. Sure enough, training in life and death is the best way to improve your strength. The scene on the decisive battle stage made Zhang Luoyang's old face look extremely ugly again. I thought that this time there would be no omissions, but it turned out, Lu Mengyao heard the noise and uproar of the crowd. She slowly opened her eyes and saw that the person lying on the ground on the decisive battle stage was not Luo Xiu, but Lin Jingyun. In an instant, the ups and downs of her mood made her cry excitedly. She struggled to free her father Lu Feichen's arm, and she jumped up and landed on the battle stage. Walking up to Luo Xiu, she took out a healing elixir and fed it to Luo Xiu. Luo Xiu opened his mouth without hesitation. He believed that Lu Mengyao would not harm him. He had no strength at all at the moment. After taking the elixir, he closed his eyes directly and started to run the pure yang kung fu and the wheel of life and death. Recover injuries within the body. A moment later, although Luo Xiu's injuries had not fully recovered, with the special method of repairing his life veins, he had regained his ability to move except for being a little weak. Mengyao, thank you. At that critical moment of life and death, Luo Xiu saw everything Lu Mengyao did and was very moved in his heart, but in comparison, her father Lu Feichen was a little unsympathetic, although it was said that Lu Feichen did not come to the rescue because of the rules of the Xuanhuan sect, so it stands to reason that he had done nothing wrong, but Luo Xiu is a person who values friendship. He feels that the so-called rules are not that they cannot be broken, but that Lu Feichen is unwilling to break them, or thinks that he, Luo Xiu, is not worthy of breaking this rule. After taking a look at Lin Jingyan's body lying in a pool of blood, Luo Xiu put away the opponent's storage wristbands and sword. On the battlefield, if you kill the opponent, you can get everything the opponent has. This is also the rule. With Lu Menyao's support, Luo Xiu stepped off the battle stage, and the crowd automatically made way for a passage. Just as Luo Xiu returned to his residence, the leader of the outer sect, Lu Feichen, also came here. Mengyao, please go out for a moment. I have something to say to Luo Xiu alone. After coming in, Lu Feichen said. Lu Mengyao didn't say anything. She looked at Luo Xiu and then at her father, then nodded and walked out of the room, closing the door behind her. In the simple and clean room, Lu Feichen looked at Luo Xiu and said in a calm tone, "You were almost killed in the decisive battle, but I didn't save you. Do you feel uncomfortable?" Luo Xiu didn't expect Lu Feichen to say such words so straightforwardly. However, what surprised Lu Feichen was that Luo Xiu shook his head and said, "The sect master acted according to the rules and was right not to save me. What's more, I am a new disciple who is not related to the sect master. Why did he save me? And me?" Luo Xiu felt really uncomfortable about Lu Feichen's unwillingness to save him, but what he said was also what he felt in his heart. Lu Feichen frowned. "Don't you think that you are my daughter's savior, so I should save you?" Luo Xiu still shook his head. "Master, you misunderstood. I never thought that I cured Menyao's Huang Jumai just to ask for reward. Not asking for anything in return." Lu Feichen snorted coldly after hearing this. "Lu Feichen, have known countless people in my life. If you say you don't ask for anything in return, it means you have bigger plans. I can see that Mengyao likes you a little, but if you think that you can use me as your backer to sit back and relax in this free and easy life, then you are wrong." Lu Feichen's words were very harsh and he didn't give Luo Xiu any chance to refute. "In any case, you have cured Menyao's Huang Jumai after all. I can give you what you want. From now on, there will be a clear line between you and Mengyao." While speaking, Lu Feichen had a storage ring in his hand. He placed the ring on the table next to him and said, "The elixirs and vitality stones in this storage ring are enough for you to cultivate to the innate realm." Lu Feichen knew very well that this wealth was enough to make an innate martial artist's heart flutter. There was no way a Qi-Hai warrior in this world would refuse, but when he noticed Luo Xiu's expression, he found that Luo Xiu's face was calm from beginning to end. Even if he told the value of the resources in the storage ring, he remained unmoved. "What? Don't you think it's enough?" Lu Feichen frowned again. He felt that Luo Xiu was too greedy. Luo Xiu looked at Lu Feichen. He knew that even if he said that he really did not ask for anything in return, Lu Feichen would not believe him. Perhaps for people like Lu Feichen, everyone in the world is only interested in profit. The less he asks for anything in return, the more wary Lu Feichen becomes of him. "Sect Master, Elder Zhao Qiyuan told me that as long as I can become the number one person in the outer sect before I turn 18, you will not stand between me and Mengyao, right?" Luo Xiu asked. "Yes, I did say this." Lu Feichen did not deny it, but then changed the topic and said, "But the current situation is special. There is no possibility between you and Mengyao at all. I advise you to still give up." After the words fell, Lu Feichen didn't seem to want to say anything more and turned around to leave. "Special situation? What does this mean?" Luo Xiu frowned. As for the storage ring that Lu Feichen placed on the table, he didn't even look at it. Luo Xiu felt that with Lu Feichen's identity, he should not go back on his words, but he suddenly made a completely different move, probably because of the special circumstances he mentioned. He really likes Lu Mengyao, not the young and secret love he had for Lu Yusen in Qingyun Martial Palace. "Father." Lu Mengyao also heard the conversation between her father and Luo Xiu outside the door. so when Lu Feichen just walked out, she couldn't help but step forward. She didn't understand why her father was so determined. Luo Xiu's performance was obviously outstanding. Even the so-called core disciples in the inner sect were only like this. Why was he unwilling to give Luo Xiu and himself a chance? Follow me, Dad will give you an explanation. Lu Feichen sighed and said. Lu Mengyao looked at Luo Xiu's room. She also wanted to find out what the special situation her father was talking about was going on. Chapter 54, The Battle for Leadership. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In a palace at Xiaoyuemen, father and daughter Lu Feichen and Lu Mengyao were sitting opposite each other. Before Lu Mengyao could ask, Lu Feichen took the initiative and said, Mengyao, do you know why Zhang Luoyang, a mere deacon from the outer sect, deserves the intervention of the elders from the inner sect and makes me unable to deal with him? Lu Mengyao was slightly startled when her father mentioned this matter. Of course she remembered that it was because Zhang Luoyang secretly attacked Luo Xiu during the assessment. This kind of behavior was considered a violation of the rules. Her father personally ordered it as the head of the outer sect. Imprisoned in a water prison, ruined his cultivation, and suffered the pain of piercing the pipa bone, but as soon as Zhang Luoyang was imprisoned in the water prison, someone held a handwriting from the elder of the inner sect and asked for his release. The elder of the inner sect had a higher status than the leader of the outer sect, so Lu Feichen had no choice but to release him. My daughter doesn't understand. Lu Mengyao shook her head in confusion. The status of the elders of the inner sect is higher than that of the leader of the outer sect, and Zhang Luoyang is only a deacon of the outer sect. The difference in status is incomparable. How can it be worthy of the elders of the inner sect personally saving him? If Zhang Luoyang really had the elders of the inner sect as his backstage, how could he be a small deacon of the outer sect? Lu Mengyao was very smart. Although she couldn't figure it out, she could guess that this might be related to the change in her father's attitude and the special situation he mentioned. Lu Feichen took a deep breath and looked a little solemn. As the person in charge of the outer sect and holding a high position, Lu Mengyao had not seen this expression on her father's face for a long time. Not long ago, the leader returned from the Jiufeng Mountains, but he was seriously injured. Now he doesn't have much time left. As soon as Lu Feichen opened his mouth, he told a shocking news. The leader he is talking about is naturally the leader of Xiaoyao sect. The one who can take the position of leader must also be the strongest person in Xiaoyao sect. The leader is injured and does not have much time left. Lu Mengyao looked shocked. The leader is a strong man who has stepped into the realm of kings in martial arts. How could he be injured like this? As for the Jiufeng Mountains mentioned by her father, Lu Mengyao had never heard of it. My Xiaoyao sect is located in Yunlong County and cannot do without the leader's tyrannical martial arts cultivation. Therefore, this news has been blocked and only a few people in the sect know about it. There was a hint of warning in Lu Feichen's eyes. If the news spreads, not only some forces in Yunlong County will be ready to take action, but forces in other counties in Tianwu Kingdom may also do things that are detrimental to my Xiaoyao sect. Come. Hearing this, Lu Mengyao nodded cautiously, saying that she would not tell anyone else the news. Lu Feichen pondered for a while, then continued, the leader's injuries are irreparable. Once he falls, the Xiaoyao sect must be left without a master. The next leader will be selected from several elders, among the elders of the inner sect. Among them, the two elders have the highest cultivation and prestige. These two elders are Di Sigu and Kong Qingyu respectively. Their cultivation levels are almost the same. They also have disciples and supporters in both internal and external sections. There will naturally be some competition for the position of the leader. Nowadays, both the internal and external sects, whether they are deacons, protectors, or elders, have taken their positions and chosen the elders they support. Your father and I support Elder Kong Qingyu. After hearing these words, Lu Mengyao finally understood. His father is a supporter of the Kong Qingyu faction, and Zhang Luoyang, the outer deacon, should obviously be a supporter of the Daisai Valley Elder faction, although Zhang Luoyang has a low status at this critical moment. Elder Di Sigu naturally wants to protect the people of his faction in order to gain more loyal support and let those who support him know that if they choose to support Di Sigu, definitely the right choice. Lu Mengyao. also didn't expect that this would actually involve a struggle for power among the inner sect factions. Elder Kong Qingyu was a highly respected person and was the mentor of her father, Lu Feichen. As a disciple, at such a critical moment, she naturally had to stand by her master. Although the status of the outer sect is not as good as that of the inner sect, it is still very important. Therefore, Lu Feichen's support will play a big factor in whether Elder Kong Qingyu can obtain the position of head. Although Master has my support, among the 9 elders of the inner sect, there are only 2 who support him. Having said this, Lu Feichen sighed and said, Master, he treats me with great kindness. If it weren't for the support and guidance of Master in the past, how could I, Lu Feichen, be where I am today? However, the status of the inner sect elders is respected, and the Master only has the support of 2 people, while there are as many as 5 supporters in Daisai Valley. If there is no accident, the Master will definitely lose in this battle for the leadership. And once defeated, Daisai Gu takes the position of leader, and will definitely suppress the Master's faction. Your father and I will also be implicated. It will be a blessing or a disaster. Listening to her father's words, Lu Mengyao could feel the stakes involved. In a dominant force like Xiaoman, it is normal to fight for power. It is also normal for the winner to suppress the loser's faction to consolidate his position. But, how does all this have anything to do with Luo Xiu and me? While Lu Mengyao was thinking about this issue, Lu Feichen slowly spoke and said, among the 9 elders in the inner sect, 3 elders have the best relationship. They are sworn brothers and sisters, and they went through life and death several times when they were young. One of the elders has a grandson named Go Jinchuan. He is deeply loved by the 3 elders and is now an inner disciple. Elder Go came to see me a few days ago and said that his grandson has been in love with you for a long time. If we can get married, Elder Go will convince his 2 brothers and sisters to side with your ancestor. Having said this, Lu Mengyao can still understand what her father means no matter how stupid she is, not to mention she is extremely smart. Father, do you want to use me as a tool to exchange power? Lu Mengyao became anxious on the spot and stood up suddenly, looking at her father with a sullen face. Lu Feichen shook his head and smiled bitterly. No one knew his daughter better than him. He had long known that once he told this matter, she would definitely become like this. Mengyao, your mother passed away early. Ever since you were a child, your father has never opposed any of your ideas. At first, you couldn't be cured by the Huang absolute vein, and you had to practice the ice heart art of Tianshan Snow Valley to suppress it, but he asked you would rather die than marry in the snow valley of the Tianshan Mountains and run to Qingyun City, and Dad didn't force you. But this time, if your ancestor fails in the competition for the position of leader, your father and I may also be in danger of our lives. Lu Feichen sighed. Dad, Lu Mengyao didn't know what to say for a moment. She couldn't care less about her father's life, but the price was to marry Go Jinchuan, which she couldn't accept either. She originally thought that she would never have a future. The Huang absolute vein made it difficult for her to live beyond the age of 25. However, Luo Xiu cured her Huang absolute vein and not only gave her a future, but also gave her a life. A feeling that will never be forgotten. For Lu Mengyao, she would rather die than abandon her relationship with Luo Xiu, but, if my father is implicated and his life is in danger because of my persistence, wouldn't I be unfilial? On one side is his father who has loved him most since childhood, and on the other side is the happiness he pursues. How do I choose? Lu Mengyao was at a loss for a moment and her mind went blank. Lu Feichen also stood up and stroked her cheek. Dad loves you the most, so naturally he won't force you to marry someone you don't like. If you really want to be with Luo Xiu, Dad will arrange for you and Luo Xiu to be together. Leave Yunlong County and prevent you from being implicated. Lu Mengyao's delicate body trembled. At this time, her father was thinking more about herself, which made her feel touched and a little guilty. Father, I want to think about it carefully. Lu Mengyao was confused. Okay, Dad will give you time to think about it, but time is tight and I can only give you 3 days. Lu Feichen said. After Lu Feichen and Lu Mengyao left, Luo Xiu felt inexplicably irritable and uneasy. Until late at night, he slowly opened his eyes and found that the injuries he suffered in the life-or-death duel with Lin Jingyan had completely recovered, with the ability to directly repair life veins. As long as the injury is not fatal, he can quickly recover in a short time, but the depression, irritability, and uneasiness lingering in my heart have not dissipated for a long time. The battle with Lin Jingyan made Luo Xiu understand a truth: in a life-and-death fight, one's cultivation level cannot completely determine a person's fighting ability. Powerful formation treasures can play a decisive role at critical moments. For example, the third-level array treasure used by Lin Jingyan inspired a golden sword energy that was comparable to the attack of an innate martial artist. If it were replaced by another 7th-level Qi Si, or even an 8th-level Qi Si, it would be almost impossible to resist. Of course, formation treasures are expensive, and not everyone has powerful formation treasures, but there is no doubt that array treasures may indeed counterattack at critical moments, or capsize in the gutter. There are roughly 3 types of formation treasures. One is offensive, such as the golden ball used by Lin Jingyan. There is also a defensive one, such as the blue crystal bracelet given to him by the master of Qingyun Palace, which he later transferred to Lu Mengyao. The third type is auxiliary, such as spirit-gathering formations, etc. Generally, auxiliary formation treasures are also called formation devices. Lin Jingyan's storage wristband contained more than 100 low-grade vitality stones, a qi refining pill, a 5th-grade sword technique, and a 2nd-grade spirit-gathering formation device. These things have basically no value to Luo Xiu. However, Luo Xiu found a jade pendant inside. It turned out to be a defensive 3rd-level array treasure. It was activated by true energy and could release a wood attribute shield. It had the ability to defend against attacks and also healed wounds. Effect: among the many disciples of Xuanhuan sect, Lin Jingyan's status is not high, and his strength is not very strong. Logically speaking, he should not have such precious formation treasures. Thinking that the notarizer of this life-and-death duel was Zhang Luoyang, Luo Xiu could think with his toes that there must be that old guy behind it. The Zhang family took the initiative to provoke me in the beginning. An old guy who has lived for more than 100 years can just deal with me indiscriminately. He also wants to kill me at every turn. When I gain strength, I will definitely find an opportunity to kill him. You old man. Luo Xiu's eyes flashed fiercely when he thought of Zhang Luoyang targeting him everywhere. He is not a soft-hearted person, because he knows very well that in this world, kindness will only be regarded as cowardice and can be bullied. Whether he beat Zhang Hao violently in Qingyun Martial Palace, crippled Zhang Hai, pressed Zhao Liang's head and kowtowed, or later killed people with his own hands in Shuiwu Mountain and Baki Mountain, the arrogance and ruthlessness in Luo Xiu's character were actually it was also revealed vividly. Standing in front of the window, Luo Xiu looked at the bright moon hanging high in the night sky, frowning slightly. The restlessness in his heart made it difficult for him to calm down. Chapter 55 Teleportation Array. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Luo Xiu spent the whole night in irritability and restlessness. In the early morning, there was a knock on the door. Master Luo Xiu, someone sent you this. After opening the door, standing outside was a handyman from the outer sect, who had a status similar to that of a servant. Outer sect disciples like Luo Xiu, to them, were all persons of noble status, so their attitude was naturally very polite. What the handyman handed to Luo Xiu was an object wrapped in cloth, no more than the size of a palm. Luo Xiu didn't know who would give him something, so he reached out to take it, unwrapped the cloth on it, and his pupils suddenly shrank. The object in his hand was a jade phoenix hairpin. Luo Xiu recognized it at a glance. This was the gift he bought for his sister Luo Xiu when he left Qingyun City. This jade phoenix hairpin was worth tens of thousands of taels of silver, but with Luo Xiu's financial resources at the time, he didn't care about the so-called gold and silver in the world. My sister Luo Xiu likes this hairpin very much and said she will always wear it, but at this moment, this jade phoenix hairpin was sent to Xuanhuan in Yunlong County. Just as the handyman was about to leave, Luo Xiu stopped him and asked, "Who sent this thing?" The handyman shook his head, looking back to the young master. "I don't even know that person. I just remember that he is a middle-aged man about 40 years old, slightly fat, with a black mole on the left side of his forehead." Luo Xiu frowned when he heard the handyman's description. He didn't remember knowing such a person. Did something happen to my sister? Luo Xiu instantly thought of this possibility, and the restless feeling in his heart became even stronger. He put away the jade phoenix hairpin, turned around and walked into the house, picked up the shadow sword, and headed to Qingyun City to have a look. Qingyun City is far away from Yunlong County City. It also took 3 days to build the Black Wind Eagle, the master of the palace. After a while, Luo Xiu walked out of Ziyuewei Gate and happened to see a magnificent building opposite, the Hunters Guild. I wonder if the Hunters Guild can tell me how to get to Qingyun City faster. After thinking about it, Luo Xiu stepped in. Like the Hunters Guild in Qingyun City, the hall was very lively. The hunters who had returned from their adventure were drinking heavily and talking loudly. Everyone had a more or less chilling atmosphere about them. The Hunters Guild in Yunlong County is larger than that in Qingyun City, and has more hunters. Luo Xiu even saw someone with a 4-star badge on his chest. If the hunter badge is replaced by strength, 1 star corresponds to a body-refining warrior, 2 stars corresponds to a Sea of Qi warrior, 3 stars corresponds to an innate martial artist, and 4 stars corresponds to a martial arts master in the realm of god refining. After entering the Hunters Guild, Luo Xiu took out his 1-star hunter badge and put it on. There were many disciples in Ziyuewei sect who had the status of hunter, so no one noticed him. "Sir, how can I help you?" The receptionist at the guild counter was a baby-faced beauty with a clear and sweet voice. "I want to know how to get from Yunlong County to Qingyun City in the shortest time." Luo Xiu said directly. "Sir, if you want to go to Qingyun City, the guild can provide you with 3 ways. The first is to take the second-level monster Qinyu Eagle, which takes about 5 days to reach the destination. The second is to take the Black Feathered Eagle, which takes 3 days. Days of time. The above 2 flying monsters have been domesticated and have safety guarantees. The Green Feather Eagle costs 10 low-grade Vitality Stones, while the Black Feather Eagle is more expensive and requires 20 low-grade Vitality Stones." "What about the third way?" Luo Xiu asked with a frown. 3 days was too slow for him. "The third way is to use the teleportation array. Qingyun City has a branch of the Hunters Guild. It only takes an instant to cross the distance from Yunlong County to Qingyun City." The beautiful receptionist said with a smile, "But if you want to ride the teleportation array, the minimum requirements are a 2-star hunter and 200 low-grade Vitality Stones." Teleportation array, arriving instantly. Luo Xiu didn't need any hesitation at all and said directly, "I want to use the teleportation array to go to Qingyun City." "Sir is a 1-star hunter. According to regulations, the minimum requirement is that you must be a 2-star hunter before you can use the teleportation array. I am a disciple of the Xiaoyao Outer Sect, can't you be accommodating?" Luo Xiu took out his token. "Sorry, if you want to use the teleportation array, you must be a 2-star hunter or above." Obviously, the identity of a disciple of the Xiaoyao Outer Sect does not apply to the Hunters Guild. "Then I will apply for the 2-star hunter assessment now." Luo Xiu said, "Similar to the assessment for 1-star hunters, the assessment for 2-star hunters also involves killing 3 second-level monsters in a formation. The strength of each monster is roughly equivalent to the 5th level of the Qi Si. Such an assessment naturally did not pose any problems for Luo Xiu, and he passed it easily. Immediately afterwards, Luo Xiu paid 200 low-grade Vitality Stones and was taken to a secret room. A building similar to an altar is located in the center of the secret room, with complex lines and runes engraved on it, shining with blue light. Luo Xiu had also heard about teleportation formations. It was said that only 4th-level formation masters could arrange the most common low-level teleportation formations. Such an formation altar was extremely expensive to build. After stepping into the teleportation array, as the formation was activated, a blue light lit up, and Luo Xiu's figure became increasingly blurry, disappearing in a flash. This was Luo Xiu's first time using the teleportation array. The dizzying motion of traveling through space made him feel nauseous and wanted to vomit. The short period of 3 breaths seemed like years to him. Finally, when the scene in front of him returned to calm, the transmission finally ended. "Welcome to Qingyun City." A pleasant voice came, and Luo Xiu found himself in a palace hall. A delicate-looking woman said to him with a smile. "So we're going to Qingyun City." Luo Xiu had a look of surprise on his face. This teleportation formation was indeed well-deserved. It would take 3 days to complete the journey by riding the Black Wind Eagle. With the help of the teleportation formation, it only took 3 breaths to arrive. "Sir, please come with me." Under the leadership of the reception staff, Luo Xiu walked out of the hall. The moment he opened the door, bursts of noise could be heard in his ears, the hall of the Hunters Guild. Seeing this familiar scene, Luo Xiu was slightly startled. He still remembered that when he first came here, he was only a 5th-level martial arts disciple. Many hunters in the hall looked at him with a hint of envy and a hint of awe, because they knew that those who came out of this hall must have come from other cities using teleportation formations, and at the very least they were 2-star hunters in the Qi Si realm, in Qingyun City. Many warriors in the Qi Si realm were unable to pass the 2-star hunter assessment. After all, the 3 monster beasts they had to face in the assessment were comparable to those at the 5th level of the Qi Si, so here, the 2-star hunter is already an amazing master. Jiang Shanshan also looked over curiously. When she saw Luo Xiu, her eyebrows furrowed and she felt that this young man looked very familiar. Naturally, she would not have thought that the little guy who was only at the 3rd level of body refining a few months ago was now a warrior in the Qi Si realm. Luo Xiu did not stop at the Hunters Guild. After walking out quickly, he went straight home. His face was slightly solemn, and his sense of life spread out. He paid close attention to the movements around him, and found that when he walked out of the Hunters Guild, there were 3 people following him. Through the fluctuations emitted by the life breath, Luo Xiu could probably determine that the strength of these 3 people would not exceed the 7th level of Qi Si. This discovery made Luo Xiu feel a little heavier. This meant that someone wanted to deal with him and deliberately sent his sister Luo Xiu's jade phoenix hairpin to Xuanhuan, probably to attract him. Is it that old guy Zhang Luoyang again? In Luo Xiu's view, Zhang Luoyang's suspicion was undoubtedly the biggest. As if he was still haunted, he tried his best to deal with him. While thinking about it, Luo Xiu suddenly turned and walked into a remote and deserted alley. The 3 Qi Hai warriors who were following him naturally followed him in quietly, but Luo Xiu's figure had disappeared from sight. Not good. The 3 warriors reacted very quickly. They immediately realized that they had been discovered and quickly exited the alley, but at this moment, a sonorous sound of a sword being unsheathed sounded, and the black sword light cut through the dead silence in the alley like lightning. Puff! Blood splattered, and the warrior walking at the front moved suddenly, his eyes widening. Immediately afterwards, his head fell from his neck and rolled 2 meters away, with blood gushing out like a fountain. A figure appeared at the entrance of the alley, holding a black sword in his hand, with blood dripping from the blade, which made the remaining 2 warriors' expressions change greatly. Looking closely, Luo Xiu found that the 3 people following him were all young, about in their 20s, 2 were at the 6th level of Qi Si, and 1 was at the 7th level of Qi Si. The person whose head was beheaded by his sword just now was one of the warriors at the 6th level of Qi Si. "Who are you and why are you following me?" Luo Xiu stepped forward and asked in a cold voice. The 2 warriors kept retreating back, with a mixture of fear in their eyes. They were obviously completely shocked by Luo Xiu's ruthless killing methods. Walking to the side of the headless corpse, Luo Xiu saw a token hanging on the corpse's waist. He picked it up with the shadow sword and took a closer look. It was the token of a disciple of Xuanhuan Sect. Escape! The 2 young warriors on the opposite side turned around and ran away. They were ordered to stay near the Hunters Guild. Once Luo Xiu appeared, they would follow them quietly. The companions at the 6th level of Qi Si were killed with a sword. They knew very well that even if the 2 of them joined forces, they might not be Luo Xiu's opponent, so they chose to escape. As disciples of the Xuanhuan Sect, each one is a genius selected from the major cities in Yunlong County. The 5th grade body skills are fully deployed at extremely fast speeds, but in terms of speed, how can their body skills compare to the afterimages of Luo Xiu's Deshang realm? The special force generating technique of Kuai Jianju allows Luo Xiu to increase his shooting speed and body speed in an instant. In just a short moment, he caught up with the young warrior whose cultivation was at the 7th level of Qi Si. Sensing the awe-inspiring killing intent getting closer and closer behind him, the warrior knew that he could not escape. He suddenly pulled out the long knife at his waist, gathered his true energy, turned around and slashed towards Luo Xiu. Puff! The bright sword light cut through and easily tore Luo Xiu's body into pieces. Succeeded. The young warrior's eyes were filled with joy, but then his face turned horrified. It's an afterimage. With a plop, his body fell to the ground. A wound on his neck continued to expand, and blood poured out desperately. He covered his neck, but couldn't make any sound. His vitality continued to disappear, and he died soon. At the same time, the last young warrior who was following Luo Xiu had fled more than 200 meters away. Chapter 56, The Sect Master's Handwriting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Among all abilities, what Luo Xiu is best at is speed. Except for martial arts masters who are innate or above, Luo Xiu is confident that he is not weaker than any martial artist in the Qi-Si realm in terms of speed. Therefore, the last young warrior who followed him still failed to escape from this uninhabited and dark alley. With his body pressed against the cold wall, the young warrior's back was soaked with cold sweat. His eyes were full of fear, because the sharp tip of a black war sword was between his eyebrows. There was less than half an inch left. 2 of your companions have been killed by me. If you want to survive, just answer my question. Luo Xiu's cold and emotionless voice sounded. The young warrior nodded desperately, because he was too nervous and afraid to say anything, lest he would be killed by this ruthless guy if he reacted half a beat too slowly. What's your name? Who ordered you to follow me? How is my family doing now? Who is the mastermind behind the scenes? Luo Xiu asked the questions he needed to know one after another. I am a disciple of the Xiaoyao outer sect. My name is Huolin, and the 2 dead men were my senior brothers, both disciples of the outer sect's deacon Shengaojian. Huolin did not dare to hesitate and revealed everything he knew. I've said everything I know, please don't kill me. Huolin kept begging for mercy. Luo Xiu returned the shadow sword to its sheath and said expressionlessly, I said I won't kill you until I kill you. After the words fell, just when Huolin breathed a sigh of relief, Luo Xiu suddenly struck out with a palm, hitting his dantian, destroying his cultivation. Huolin's eyes widened, then his eyes darkened, and he passed out. After killing 2 people and destroying 1, there was no mercy in Luo Xiu's eyes. Since these people wanted to deal with him, they would have to bear the consequences and price. Outer Deacon Shengaojian. Luo Xiu frowned. According to the information he learned from Huolin, Shengaojian didn't seem to have a good relationship with Zhang Luoyang. Logically speaking, he shouldn't have been entrusted by Zhang Luoyang to deal with him. Not only that, Luo Xiu also learned that his parents and sister had been controlled and were currently being imprisoned in the Martial Palace. The original master of Qinyan Martial Palace had been removed, and Shengaojian was temporarily acting as the master of the palace. There is no doubt that this is a conspiracy against Luo Xiu. Not only his parents and sisters, but also the master of Qinyan Palace are also implicated. Then Shengaojian is the deacon of the outer sect, and he is at least a strong man at the 7th level of innateness. With my strength, trying to go to the Martial Palace to save people is like a sheep entering a tiger's mouth. Luo Xiu forced himself to calm down to prevent him from making impulsive actions that would cause irreparable consequences. He was sure that there should be informants all over Qinyan City. In a short period of time, the enemy might not know that he came to Qinyan City through the teleportation array, but with the disappearance of the 3 Huolins, the enemy should be able to deduce that he was already there. We are now in Qinyan City. Luo Xiu knew very well that even if he killed Huolin and then destroyed his body, he would not have much time left. Taking out the bamboo hat he had practiced in Baki Mountain from the storage ring, Luo Xiu did not go to Qinyan Martial Hall, but returned to the Hunters Guild in the city. The 4 forces, the Hunters Guild, the Formation Masters Guild, the Forgers Guild, and the Alchemists Guild, actually have a transcendent status in Yunlong County and even the entire Tianwu Kingdom. It seems that Ziyuman's status is superior to that of the guild, but in fact it is just because there is no real conflict of interest between them. At Ziyuman, Luo Xiu heard someone say that the branches of the 4 major guilds are spread all over the world. The influence of the four major guilds exists in every large-scale city in the entire Tianwu kingdom, and even in other countries outside Tianwu, in Yunlong County. Even if the head of Xiaoyao meets the presidents of the four major guilds, he must treat them with courtesy. Fighting are prohibited in the Hunter Guild, so when Luo Xiu came here, at least as long as he didn't step out of here, no one would dare to attack him in the guild hall. Qingyun Martial Palace, one of the deacons of Xiaoyuemen, Shen Gaojian is tall, with broad hands and a ferocious scar like a centipede on the left side of his face. Sitting on the seat of the lord of the Martial Palace, he looked at the two corpses with a gloomy face, as well as Hualin, who was in a coma after his cultivation was abolished. Palace Master, these three people were found in an alley in the city. Luo Xiu should have returned to Qingyun City. A middle-aged man in brocade suddenly said, and this man was none other than the current head of the Zhang family, Zhang Xiaohai. He should have used the Hunters Guild's teleportation array to come here. Shen Gaojian nodded, looked at Zhang Xiaohai, and said, you can lead a team of blue armored guards to guard near the Hunters Guild. Once Luo Xiu is found, show up and kill without mercy. Yes. Zhang Xiaohai responded and went to make arrangements. Shen Gaojian picked up the teacup and took a sip, then said, a few people will come and drag these three corpses out and bury them. Several Qingjia guards walked in outside the hall and found that one of them was not a corpse, but just unconscious. But these Qingjia guards did not dare to ask any more questions and carefully followed Shen Gaojian's instructions. A smile appeared on the corner of Shen Gaojian's mouth. He liked the feeling of others being afraid of him. This time, he came to Qingyun City with the oracle on it. Even the master of Qingyun Palace, who had a higher level of cultivation than himself, he must obediently hand over the power of the Lord of the Martial Palace, Hunters Guild. Wearing a bamboo hat on his head, Luo Xiu came to the counter. The person in charge of reception at the counter was still Jiang Shanshan, who was known as the most beautiful woman in the Hunters Guild branch of Qingyun City. Beauty, I want to see Elder Zhuang Nantian. Luo Xiu said in a deep voice. He didn't know many people in Qingyun City. The master of Qingyun Palace had been seized of power and was missing. The only thing he knew was that in addition to being an elder of the Martial Palace, Zhuang Nantian was also an elder of the Hunters Guild branch. Jiang Shanshan was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, Sir, please tell me what your relationship is with Elder Zhuang, so that I can pass it on to you. I am Elder Zhuang's junior, you only need to ask Luo Xiu to see me. Okay, please wait a moment. Jiang Shanshan said with a smile, wait. Luo Xiu. I seem to have heard this name somewhere. Jiang Shanshan glanced at the man wearing a bamboo hat suspiciously and couldn't remember for a while. Beauty, what's the problem? Luo Xiu said. He was wearing a bamboo hat, so Jiang Shanshan naturally couldn't recognize him. I'm sorry, I'm rude. Jiang Shanshan came to her senses, quickly called someone to take charge of the reception, and then went to report the matter to Elder Zhuang. A group of blue-armored guards came outside. I wonder why these guys came to the Hunters Guild. I heard that something happened in Qingyun Martial Palace recently. Who knows what happened? The Hunters Guild prohibits fighting. Not to mention a team of blue-armored guards, even the master of the Martial Palace would not dare to cause trouble here. Don't look at it. We are just a small branch of the Hunters Guild. The president in charge, I heard, is a powerful martial arts master. Luo Xiu heard the discussion of several hunters, and his expression under the bamboo hat couldn't help but become a little solemn. It was obvious that Shen Gaojian already knew about his arrival in Qingyun City. However, there were actually strong martial arts masters in the Hunters Guild, which surprised Luo Xiu. At the same time, he could see how powerful the Hunters Guild was. After a while, Jiang Shanshan came back. Elder Zhuang asked me to take Mr. Zhu there, please come with me. Luo Xiu nodded, and immediately led by Jiang Shanshan, he arrived at the door of a room in the Hunters Guild. Pushing the door open, Luo Xiu saw two people sitting in the room. One of them was Zhuang Nantian, and the other one, to Luo Xiu's surprise, was actually the master of Qingyun Palace. Jiang Shanshan completed her mission and turned to leave, but she was still wondering why she was familiar with Luo Xiu. After a while, she suddenly remembered, was it him? That young boy who he said he wanted to pursue. In the room, Luo Xiu took off his bamboo hat and saluted. I have met the master of the palace, Elder Xuan. The master of Qingyun Palace looked at Luo Xiu with a solemn expression and said, You boy, this is a big trouble. Then Shen Gaojian came to Qingyun City 3 days ago, holding the handwriting of the Lord of the Outer Sect, and directly took the power of the Lord of the Martial Palace from me, and then ordered the arrest of your parents and sisters. The handwriting of Lu Feichen, the leader of the Outer Sect. When Luo Xiu heard this, his mind went blank. Speaking of which, I'm also surprised. With the power of Master Lu, he can deal with you at Ziyuewei Sect. Why go to such trouble? Master Qingyun said with a frown. Luo Xiu didn't speak. His mind was now blank. He had always suspected that Zhang Luoyang was going to deal with him, but he never thought that the person who wanted to deal with him would be Lu Feichen. Recalling that Lu Feichen gave him a storage ring to keep him away from Lu Mengyao, he refused without hesitation. The very next day, he received the jade phoenix hairpin from his sister Luo Xiu. Seeing Luo Xiu's silence, Master Qingyun and Elder Huang looked at each other and saw doubts in each other's eyes. Obviously, there is a hidden secret that they don't know about. Luo Xiu analyzed the causes and consequences and was basically certain that since Shen Gaojian was holding Lu Feichen's handwriting, the person who dealt with him should obviously be Lu Feichen. But what puzzled Luo Xiu was why Lu Feichen did this to him. Was it just to stop him from pestering Lu Mengyao? As for why Lu Feichen didn't take action in Ziyuewei, it was obviously because he didn't want Lu Mengyao to know. Seemingly acting like a gentleman, Luo Xiu didn't expect that Sect Master Lu would be such a sinister person. The top priority is to rescue his parents first. Luo Xiu raised his head and looked at Master Qingyun Palace and Elder Huang. Please ask these 2 seniors to save my relatives. Hearing this, the master of Qingyun Palace looked embarrassed and sighed. Luo Xiu, you are a genius from my Qingyun Martial Palace. I also want to help you, but as a member of Xiaoyao Sect, if I help you, there is no place for me in this Yunlong County. It would be fine if I were alone, but I also have a wife and children living in Yunlong County. I hope you can understand. Luo Xiu was not surprised by the response from the master of Qingyun Palace. After all, he and the master of Qingyun Palace were not related to each other. Instead, he was involved in the seizure of power because of his own affairs. In fact, the master of Qingyun Palace did not arrest him directly to claim credit, so he was already kind to him. Thinking of this in hindsight, Luo Xiu couldn't help but break into a cold sweat on his back. If the master of Qingyun Palace really wanted to arrest him to claim credit, with his powerful cultivation of half-step god training, he would have simply thrown himself into a trap by coming here. Thinking about this, Luo Xiu bowed deeply to the master of Qingyun Palace. Master Qingyun Palace sighed and said nothing more. Zhuang Nantian said, although I am not a member of Xiaoyao Sect, I am only the official elder of Qingyun Martial Palace, but with my strength, I can't help you. Zhuang Nantian shook his head, but although the palace master and I can't help you, there are people who can help you. Who? Luo Xiu asked. Strong men from the Hunter Guild. Zhuang Nantian said, there are many strong men from the Hunter Guild. Hunters like you are not considered real members of the Hunter Guild, but as long as you can pay enough, you can invite the strong men from the Hunter Guild will help you. For example, if you are facing something this time, you only need to ask a martial arts master to take action to save your relatives. Of course, you will also have to pay the corresponding reward. In fact, Zhuang Nantian also knew very well that the method he mentioned was basically impossible for Luo Xiu. After all, he is just a warrior in the Qi Si realm. How can he be rewarded with a reward that makes a martial arts master's heart beat? Chapter 57 Lu Feichen's Ambition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Please tell me, Elder Xuan, how should I ask the strong men from the Hunter Guild to help me? To Zhuang Nantian's surprise, Luo Xiu didn't consider the reward at all and asked directly. Zhuang Nantian couldn't bear to attack Luo Xiu, because he knew that Luo Xiu was basically at the end of his rope, but he and the master of Qingyun Palace were so indifferent that they could not help at all. I will report your matter to the higher-ups. If a martial arts master is willing to take on this task, he will put forward corresponding requirements. As long as you can meet the other party's requirements, you can get help from the other party. Xuanhuan said. Then I'll trouble Elder Xuang. Luo Xiu said. You don't need to thank me, it's just a simple effort. Soon, Xuanhuan spread the news through a special formation device. It didn't take long for the message to be received. Xuanhuan looked a little strange when he received the receipt message. He glanced at Luo Xiu and said, the president has learned about this matter. If you can come up with a 6th grade martial arts, the president is willing to help you. The requirement is a 6th grade medium internal strength, or 6th grade superior martial arts and body skills. Hearing this, Luo Xiu's face finally showed joy. He naturally knew that the President Xuanhuan was talking about should be the president of the Hunters branch of Qingyun City. It is said that he is a strong man in the realm of martial arts master. Without any hesitation, Luo Xiu said directly, I agree to the president's conditions. Hearing this, not only Xuanhuan, but also the master of Qingyun Palace looked at Luo Xiu with wide eyes. The president is a powerful master of martial arts. If you agree and don't come up with the corresponding things, no one can save you. Naturally, the two of them didn't think Luo Xiu could come up with something of this level. You must know that 6th grade martial arts is already an important inheritance. Even masters like Master Qingyun, who is half-step into the realm of God refining, only practice 5th grade high-grade martial arts. Although there are many martial arts in Xiaoyao Pavilion of Xiaoyao Outer Sect, most of them are 5th grade low-level, and a few are 5th grade intermediate. As for 6th grade martial arts, although there are also some, they usually only have core disciples of the inner sect, or those who have reached the level of God refining. Only those who are strong in the realm are qualified to practice. The reason why such harsh requirements are placed there is just to put something in the minds of many outer disciples. As for the 7th level martial arts, it is already the core inheritance, and only the leader's lineage is qualified to practice it. With a 6th grade martial arts, a strong God refiner can create a martial arts family that can be passed down from generation to generation. Luo Xiu knew that wealth should not be exposed, but at this moment he had no way out and could only nod his head and said, I have it, and please ask Elder Xuang to help me reply to the president. As soon as these words came out, Master Qingyun couldn't help but his eyes flickered. He had been trapped in the realm of half-step God refining for a long time. If he could get a 6th level martial arts, he would have a great chance to take a half-step and truly set foot in the God refining martial arts. Grandmaster level, although Luo Xiu didn't pay attention, he could feel the heat in the eyes of Elder Xuang and Master Qingyun. Now he can only bet in his heart that these two seniors have their own bottom line. Since they didn't arrest him and claim credit directly, it shows that they still have a favor for him. Luo Xiu, it seems that you should have an opportunity. Xuanhuan glanced at Luo Xiu and said with some envy. The master of Qingyun Palace also came back to his senses, his expression slightly embarrassed. Just now he even had the idea of killing Luo Xiu and snatching away the 6th grade martial arts. He felt ashamed that he had such thoughts. In the final analysis, it was because he was so eager to break through to the realm of refining gods that his martial arts will almost fail to keep his original intention. Luo Xiu breathed a sigh of relief when he felt the pressure on his back disappear. With a flip of his palm, Luo Xiu took out a martial art secret book from the storage ring. The eyes of Xuanhuan and Master Qingyun were instantly focused on it. Unable to move away, Luo Xiu stepped forward and placed this martial art secret book in front of the two of them, then bowed deeply and said, the kindness that the two seniors have shown me, I can't repay, so I will give you this martial art. It's for the two seniors. On the cover of the martial arts secret book, the 4 characters dazzling true kung fu are written. This is an internal skill. Although it is only considered ordinary and inferior among the 6th grade ones, it is already a priceless treasure for those who have not yet reached the realm of God refining. Because the secret of breaking through the realm of God refining can only be recorded in detail in 6th grade martial arts. Without 6th grade martial arts, it is not impossible to break through the realm of God refining, but there are very few people who can achieve this step. Luo Xiu also thought carefully before sending out a 6th grade martial arts. On the one hand, it was to appease the hearts of these two seniors, and on the other hand, it was also because these two seniors were really good to him. Not only did they not arrest him to claim credit, they also helped him figure out a way to solve the current crisis. which was very important to Luo. To Xiu Lai, it was already a great favor. Luo Xiu, this. Zhuang Nantian and Master Qingyun didn't know what to say for a while. They needed this 6th grade martial arts very much, but at the same time they felt guilty because they had just said what they wanted to do to protect themselves and not help Luo Xiu. 2 seniors, there is no need to refuse. This is the junior's wish. If you can ask the president to take action this time, I will be grateful. Luo Xiu said sincerely. After being reminded by Luo Xiu, Zhuang Nantian reacted and said quickly, I will help you reply to the president. Zhuang Nantian has a green box-shaped formation device in his hand, which can record information and send it out. After a moment, the array device lit up. Zhuang Nantian looked at Luo Xiu and said, the president is coming. Yunlong County, Xuanhuan, Lu Feichen stood on an attic with his hands behind his back, overlooking a group of outer disciples practicing martial arts below. Suddenly, his expression changed. He turned over his hand and took out a palm-sized green box from the storage ring, which emitted a faint light. This small box may seem inconspicuous, but it is actually a 3rd-level array treasure that can transmit information over long distances. It is called a sound transmission box. Luo Xiu has appeared and is currently hiding in the Hunters Guild. A sound passed through the array treasure and directly reached Lu Feichen's ears. Lu Feichen frowned, and immediately sent a message, then put away the sound transmission box. Luo Xiu, in fact, if it weren't for the fight for the position of leader, you might not be able to be a great helper to me in the future if you grow up with your talent. Unfortunately, I can't wait that long, so I can only sacrifice you. Lu Feichen whispered to himself. A gust of wind blew, and the white robe on his body fluttered. At this moment, an outer disciple came behind him and said respectfully, Master, I found a storage ring in Luo Xiu's room. Lu Feichen looked back and saw that the storage ring was exactly what he had left for Luo Xiu. He put the ring away and said calmly, if you had left Xuanhuan with the things in the ring, how could you have ended up like this? Young man, being too greedy is not a good thing, are you right? Lu Feichen suddenly said to the outer disciple in front of him. What the sect master said is absolutely true. The outer disciple replied respectfully. Lu Feichen smiled slightly and immediately walked down from the attic. Not long after, he arrived outside Lu Menyao's room. After knocking on the door opened quickly. Lu Menyao's face looked a little haggard, and she was obviously still troubled by what her father had said to her. She couldn't let go of her father, but she couldn't let go of Luo Xiu either. She didn't know how to choose. Lu Mengyao wanted to ask her father, is there really no way to get the best of both worlds? But before she had time to ask, Lu Feichen said directly, Luo Xiu has left. What? Lu Mengyao was stunned, and then looked at his father. Dad, did you say something to him? I didn't say anything to him, Dad just gave him a choice. Lu Feichen said. Choice? What choice? Lu Mengyao asked. One option is to fly away with enough treasure to allow him to cultivate to the innate realm, and the other option is to stay here with you. Lu Feichen spoke slowly. If he chooses to be with you, it means that his feelings for you are sincere, then no matter what, Dad will not break up you two. It's a pity that his final choice disappointed Dad, but Dad has to tell you that whether Luo Xiu healed your Huang Jueme or liked you, it was actually for his own purposes. No, this is impossible. When Lu Mengyao heard the news, she seemed to have lost her soul and fell to the ground. Mengyao, wake up, he is still out for profit after all. What he values is not the so-called relationship between you, but that you are my daughter and can bring him countless benefits. He deceived you, and also deceived your feelings. Lu Feichen said word for word. No. I don't believe it, I want to find him. Lu Mengyao couldn't believe it. Ever since you were little, your father has loved you the most. How could he lie to you? He has already taken away the treasure that is enough for him to cultivate to the innate realm. Hearing this sentence, Lu Mengyao cried, and the tears couldn't stop flowing out. Growing up, her father loved her the most, and she also believed that her father would not deceive her. However, is Luo Xiu really approaching him for profit? Seeing his daughter's sad and tearful look, Lu Feichen couldn't bear it, but he had no choice, because this time the fight for the master was related to whether he could step into the realm of martial arts king. His master, Elder Kong Qingyu, has promised that if he can take the position of master, as the disciple of the master, he will be qualified to practice and comprehend the 7th level martial arts and travel freely. The realm of martial arts king is Lu Feichen's lifelong pursuit. Even if he uses his daughter and sacrifices an innocent Luo Xiu for this, he will not hesitate. As long as Luo Xiu dies, there will be no evidence. When all the people involved in this matter are silenced, Meng Yao will only believe that Luo Xiu has really gone away, and my daughter will not hate me. This is the plan in Lu Feichen's heart. Chapter 58 Killing, 1/2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 58 Killing. The president of the Qingyun City Hunters Guild is an old man with white hair and beard, wearing a loose black robe. Although he looks old, his eyes are full of sparkle, and he has a kind of majesty without anger. Zhuang Nantian and Master Qingyun quickly stood up and bowed respectfully, then retreated from the room. Luo Xiu also stood up and said respectfully, "Junior Luo Xiu, pay your respects to the president." "I'm Ye Xiangdou." There is no trace of age in the president's voice, it is rich and powerful. His eyes fell on Luo Xiu and he said calmly, "I already know about your matter. I can help you rescue your relatives from the martial palace, but it involves a lot, so are you ready for what I want?" Ye Xiangdou said directly. Luo Xiu didn't say much, and directly took out a martial arts secret book and placed it on the table. 6th grade medium internal strength, Qingyuan Gong. In fact, Luo Xiu felt a little unsure. What if the president failed to do anything after taking the skills? In the final analysis, it is because I am not strong enough, otherwise why would I trust my destiny to outsiders? At this moment, Luo Xiu longed for powerful strength like never before. Ye Xiangdou's eyes seemed to be able to see through people's hearts. He picked up the Qing Yuan Gong on the table and looked through it. He said, "Don't worry, little guy. Since our hunter guild recognizes similar tasks, credibility is the most important. I took your things will naturally help you. Juniors naturally believe in seniors." Luo Xiu said. Ye Xiangdou nodded, then put down the Qing Yuan Gong and said, "It is indeed a mid-level 6th grade skill. In addition to needing me to rescue your relatives, what else do you need me to help you with?" Having said this, Ye Xiangdou stared at Luo Xiu and said, "Except for things related to the mission, I will not help you with anything else. The Hunters Guild has a good reputation and also has rules. If it admits similar tasks, it is bound to offend many powerful people and forces. Therefore, in this aspect, the powerful people of the Hunters Guild will also have a demarcation when doing tasks. Range restrictions, for example, if Luo Xiu issued a mission to invite people to kill important figures in various sects, the Hunters Guild would not accept it. Otherwise, no matter how powerful the Hunters Guild was, it would definitely not be able to gain a foothold in this world. If someone wants to kill me, I hope seniors can protect me and my family's safety." Luo Xiu said his first request. "That's okay." Ye Xiangdou nodded in agreement. "After rescuing my relatives, I also hope that senior can escort my family out of Yunlong County." Luo Xiu said again. Ye Xiangdou frowned, "I can't agree to this request. If it's you, you can use the teleportation array to teleport directly to the hunter branches in other counties. However, the minimum requirement for using the teleportation array is that you must be in the Qihai realm." Hearing this, Luo Xiu's expression changed slightly. He knew very well that even if he rescued his parents and sister, if he could not leave Yunlong County, he would still be within the Xiaoyao sect sphere of influence, and either Lu Feichen or Zhang Luliang could easily kill him. "But I can promise you that as long as I stay in Qingyun City, I will protect them in the name of the Hunter Branch. However, this condition is no longer within the mission, and you need to pay separately." After Ye Xiangdou pondered for a while, he said, "To protect your relatives for 1 year, you need to pay 1,000 low-grade vitality stones." Luo Xiu was stunned. 1,000 low-grade vitality stones were equivalent to the value of a mid-grade human-grade warrior. But for Luo Xiu, the safety of his parents and sister is priceless, so no matter how expensive it is, he can only agree. I need Senior to protect my relatives for 10 years. Luo Xiu said, in 10 years, that is 10,000 low-grade vitality stones. When Luo Xiu said these words, Ye Xiangdou, the martial arts master, was a little moved, because even he himself only had more than 3,000 low-grade vitality stones. It's just the accumulation of stone, however, he is not motivated by wealth. There are countless people practicing martial arts in this world. Some are just seeking profit by any means, while others are gentlemen who love money and get it wisely. Lu Feichen belongs to the former, while Ye Xiangdou undoubtedly belongs to the latter. Luo Xiu can be said to be very lucky to meet people like Xuanhuan Palace Master, Xuanhuan and Ye Xiangdou. Otherwise, he would be a small Qi warrior with so much wealth. If he meets the first kind of people, the result must be that not even the bones and dregs are left after being eaten. Senior, I don't have so many vitality stones in my hand. Can I use treasures of equal value to mortgage them? Luo Xiu then said, 10,000 low-grade vitality stones are equivalent to 100 middle-grade vitality stones. Although Luo Xiu has it, the vitality stones can assist in training, so he naturally wants to stay to provide for his future training needs. Yes. Ye Xiangdou agreed directly. As long as they are of equal value, whether it is a vitality stone or other treasures, it is fine. Luo Xiu took out a war sword from the storage ring, placed it on the table, and said, this is a low-grade war sword, and its value is definitely more than 10,000 low-grade vitality stones. Ye Xiangdou nodded. Based on the things Luo Xiu took out, he guessed that this 14-year-old boy was probably very lucky. He got the wealth left by a certain martial arts master, and he had a low-level warrior. The martial arts master is definitely not an ordinary martial arts master. Because Ye Xiangdou himself is also a martial arts master, but he only uses a top-grade human-level weapon, and a low-level earth-level weapon is too expensive for him. As for the treasure trove left by the powerful King Wu, Ye Xiangdou did not think about it. After all, the powerful King Wu was too rare in Yunlong County. An agreement was reached with Ye Xiangdou, and the old man and the young man walked out of the room. Xuanhuan and Master Qin Yunhao were waiting outside the door. They saw President Ye Xiangdou walking behind Luo Xiu like a guard. The two looked at each other and knew that the president had agreed to help Luo Xiu. Returning to the hunter's hall, this time Luo Xiu didn't wear a hat on his head. Jiang Shanshan, the beautiful receptionist in front of the counter, saw him and seemed to remember what happened a few months ago, with a hint of shyness on her pretty face, but when he noticed the white-bearded old man behind Luo Xiu, her eyes suddenly widened and she covered her red lips with her little hands. Oh my God, isn't that the president? Jiang Shanshan's eyes were full of disbelief. She had been lucky enough to meet the president before, so she could recognize him at a glance. However, many hunters in the hall had never seen the true face of the president, so they did not know the identity of the white-bearded old man. How noble! The president is actually walking behind Luo Xiu. Who is this little guy? But at this moment, Jiang Shanshan suddenly felt that this young man in black was full of mysterious aura. Luo Xiu. At this moment, a middle-aged man in brocade clothes walked into the hunter's hall. His eyes swept across the people in the hall and fell on Luo Xiu like a torch. Luo Xiu also followed the voice and frowned slightly. He did not recognize this middle-aged man in genie, but he looked vaguely similar to the former Zhang Shaoxiong of the Zhang family. Are you from the Zhang family? Luo Xiu asked. The middle-aged man in genie walked over with a smile on his face. Yes, I am the current head of the Zhang family, Zhang Shaohai. Speaking of which, although my eldest brother died because of you, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be able to take the position of head of the family. Zhang Shaohai walked up to Luo Xiu and whispered, I can tell you the truth, it was not my eldest brother who ordered the arrest of your parents and sisters, but me. Is it you? When Luo Xiu heard this, a fierce light flashed in his eyes. Obviously, this Zhang Shaohai is also a person who will do anything to achieve his goals. In order to take the position of the head of the family, he will not hesitate to frame his eldest brother and put him to death. Luo Xiu didn't intend to kill Zhang Shaoxiong at first, but when he heard that the Zhang family had ordered the arrest of his parents and sister, he naturally thought that Zhang Shaoxiong had sent someone to do it, and out of anger, he asked the master of the martial arts palace to execute him. If not, he wouldn't have had to have a grudge against the ancestor of the Zhang family, which would have led to several dangers. Since I can let Zhang Xiaoxiong die, if you tell me this, aren't you afraid that I will kill you too? Luo Xiu said coldly. Zhang Xiaohai laughed disapprovingly and said with disdain, "You are already on the verge of death, how dare you speak so brazenly?" That he dared to say this to Luo Xiu, so he was naturally confident. "Don't think that you can be safe by hiding in the Hunters Guild. If you don't come out, I will send someone to bring your parents and sisters to be killed. I don't think you can come out." Zhang Xiaohai said with a sullen expression. Hearing this, Luo Xiu narrowed his eyes and felt murderous intent surging in his chest. A cold and sinister smile appeared on his face. "You want me to go out? That's fine, I'll just go out." That before he finished speaking, Luo Xiu strode toward the gate of the Hunters Guild. Ye Xiangdou, the martial arts master, followed behind him with no expression on his face. Luo Xiu's move made Zhang Xiaohai stunned for a moment, but then a sneer appeared on his face. "Young people are impulsive. I just used the provoking method and ran out to die." Outside the Hunter's Hall, a group of blue-armored guards were majestic, all holding swords in their hands, and their bodies were filled with chilling aura. A lot of people gathered nearby, all discussing why this group of blue-armored guards appeared here and who they were. They actually asked a team of 30 blue-armored guards to be dispatched at once. Suddenly, Luo Xiu walked out of the Hunter branch. "King Jiahui, listen to the order and capture Luo Xiu. If there is resistance, kill without mercy." Zhang Xiaohai's voice full of murderous intent was heard instantly. "Brush! Brush! Brush!" That the sounds of swords being unsheathed were heard, and the auras of 30 blue-armored guards bloomed, encircling Luo Xiu from all directions. Zhang Xiaohai personally guarded the gate of the Hunters Guild, cutting off Luo Xiu's escape route to prevent him from escaping into the Hunters Guild. Luo Xiu didn't care. Behind him was Ye Xiangdou, the martial arts master. If Zhang Xiaohai attacked from behind, he would definitely be seeking death. Fierce killing intent surged wantonly in front of the gate of the Hunters Guild. The cultivation level of each Qingjia guard is at the Qi C level, but their cultivation level is below the 5th level of the Qi C level. Only the leader among them has the cultivation level of the 6th level of the Qi C level. A green-armored guard came towards Luo Xiu with a long knife in his hand, with a cold and sinister smile on his face. However, as soon as he rushed in front of Luo Xiu, a black sword light flashed across his eyes in an instant. Before he even understood what was going on, a head flew up and rolled far away, blood spurted out like a spring, and Luo Xiu's hand was already holding a black sword dripping with blood. Ye Xiangdou, who was standing behind Luo Xiu, narrowed his eyes slightly. As a martial arts master, his eyes were so vicious. He could see that Luo Xiu's swordsmanship was extremely fast and precise, and he was decisive and precise in his attacks. He was so ruthless that he instantly killed a Qihai warrior with a similar level of cultivation to him. Although such a method is nothing to a martial arts master, for a martial artist of the 3rd level of Qihai who is only 14 years old to be able to use it, it is no longer in the category of ordinary geniuses. After killing the Qingjia guard with one sword, Luo Xiu's movements did not stop. His chest had long been squeezing the surging killing intent, and now he was impatient to vent it all out. Every time he swung his sword, blood spurted out, and a corpse fell in a pool of blood. None of these Qingjiawi, whose highest cultivation level does not exceed the 7th level of Qi C, can withstand his move. His sword is so fast, like aurora lightning, that ordinary warriors have no chance to dodge unless they are masters with keen fighting instincts. Shichichi. The 3 green-armored guards retreated to a distance, opened the long bows in their hands, and the arrows flew straight towards Luo Xiu's head. "Go to hell!" That the other Qingjia guards also took action, leaving Luo Xiu nowhere to dodge. "Flash sword!" Luo Xiu shouted softly and performed the move in the Aurora sword technique. The black sword light passed through the air and cut off 3 incoming arrows. Immediately afterwards, his figure became distorted, and the attacks of many green-armored guards fell together, but all they tore apart were only afterimages. "Deadly sword!" A cold voice sounded, like the declaration of death attached to the ear, and black sword energy flew out from the shadow sword in Luo Xiu's hand. There was an endless sound of popping, and in an instant, 4 Qingjia guards were killed on the spot. with blood splattering, there will be no kindness or kindness in a life and death fight. Using all his body skills, 7 afterimages appeared. Luo Xiu was immersed in killing, venting the monstrous murderous intention in his chest. Killing one person with one step will result in blood being drawn out of the sword. In just a short moment, the ground in front of the Hunters Guild gate was soaked in blood and turned scarlet. Broken limbs and broken arms were everywhere. Like sure purgatory, the crowd that was originally around to watch the fun now retreated into the distance, and everyone's face was full of panic. Chapter 59 Ye Xiangdou takes action. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 30 green armors, no single enemy. And Luo Xiu, who did all this, was only 14 years old. Zhang Xiaohai watched the Qingjia guards being killed one after another, and his body could not help but tremble. Although Zhang Luoyang, the ancestor of the Zhang family, is a master of the 9th level of innate realm, it can be said that the Zhang family in Qingyun City has no successor. Whether it is the previous family member Zhang Xiaoxiong or the current Zhang Xiaohai, he is only in his 40s. The cultivation level of the 6th level of Qi Si, however, the 6th level Qi Si was killed with a sword like a piece of grass in front of Luo Xiu. This made Zhang Xiaohai, who originally thought that Luo Xiu would die, became completely frightened. Escape. Seeing that only 2 or 3 of the 30 Qingjia guards were dead, Zhang Xiaohai woke up from the shock, and the only thought left in his mind was to escape quickly, otherwise Luo Xiu would definitely kill him. Zhang Xiaohai knew very well that as long as he could escape to the Martial Palace, with the cultivation of the outer sect deacon Shen Gaoqian, it would be absolutely easy to kill Luo Xiu. Zhang Xiaohai, you can't escape. The shadow sword cut through the air, creating ripples. The last 2 blue-armored guards fell to the ground, lifeless. Luo Xiu's body left an afterimage on the spot, and the next moment, he appeared in front of Zhang Xiaohai, with a playful sneer on his face, staring at the head of the Zhang family. Zhang Xiaohai was about to ask for mercy, but a sword light came straight to his face. Luo Xiu's attack was crisp, decisive and cruel, without any hesitation. No! Zhang Xiaohai roared with all his strength, and the light of true energy bloomed on his body. Under the crisis of life and death, he unleashed all his potential and resisted with all his strength. But the next moment, Zhang Xiaohai clutched his throat and knelt on the ground. His mouth was bleeding, his eyes were wide open, but he couldn't say anything. Luo Xiu had no expression on his face and walked directly in the direction of the Martial Palace. As for the bodies of the 30 green armored guards and Zhang Xiaohai, he didn't even look at them. Zhuang Nantian and Master Qinyan Hall walked out of the Hunters Guild and saw the corpses and shocking scenes there, and they were equally shocked and confused. This. Luo Xiu did this? Zhuang Nantian could hardly believe it. The 3rd level of Qi Si has such strength. His talent is terrifying. He will grow up to be a great hero in the future. Even the master of Qingyun Palace had to give Luo Xiu a very high evaluation, but he was very confused. Such a genius would be extremely rare in any sect. Why did Lu Feichen, the leader of the outer sect, insist on putting him to death? Ye Xiangdou walked behind Luo Xiu. Based on his experience, he could probably guess why Lu Feichen had to kill Luo Xiu. If you are an enemy of such a genius, if you cannot eradicate the roots, once it grows up, there will be endless troubles. In the land of Yunlong County, there have been many amazing geniuses, but Ye Xiangdou felt that no one could have Luo Xiu's strength at the 3rd level of Qi Si. He even discovered that Luo Xiu was completely at ease when fighting with the 30 blue-armored guards. Obviously, that was not all his strength at all. What does that mean? Killing 30 green-armored guards is already equivalent to the best among the Qi Si 7th level warriors. If Luo Xiu showed his full strength, wouldn't he be comparable to the Qi Si 8th level or even the 9th level Qi Si? And he is extremely talented. Geniuses who can leapfrog battles are not uncommon, but geniuses who can cross so many realms to kill their opponents will undoubtedly shine brightly as long as they grow up. Of course, the difficulty of level skipping challenges will become more and more difficult as his cultivation level increases, but if Luo Xiu can continue like this, when he reaches the realm of God refining, or even the realm of martial arts king, it will undoubtedly be extremely terrifying. The sound of footsteps and horse hooves came one after another. On the way to the martial palace, Luo Xiu saw another group of Qingjia guards rushing towards him. The two men led by this group of Qingjia guards rode war horses, one held a gun and the other held a Yenhua sword. "Bold Luo Xiu, why don't you just surrender?" that the green-armored man holding the Yenhua sword shouted coldly. He had thick eyebrows and big eyes, and a burly figure. There was a strong sense of oppression invisibly, but Luo Xiu turned a deaf ear to his scolding. "Kill!" that the man in green armor shouted angrily, clamped his feet, pulled the reins with one hand, sat down, and the black-maned horse neighed and rushed towards Luo Xiu, staring coldly at the oncoming war horse. Luo Xiu had no intention of evading and suddenly jumped up. "Die!" that the green-armored man wielded the Yenhua sword, bringing out a dazzling sword-like light. He was a captain of the Qingjia Guard, and he had the cultivation level of the 7th level of the Qi Si. The war horse rushed past, and Luo Xiu's figure was torn into pieces by the sword light in mid-air. Thump. After the black-maned horse ran for tens of meters, the body of the man in green armor suddenly fell, lifeless. Luo Xiu's figure continued to move forward, holding the blood-stained shadow sword. The body torn apart by the sword light in mid-air was just an afterimage. The 10 directions shadow body technique he practiced is the top martial arts among the 5th grades, not to mention that he has cultivated it to the level of Deshang. Even many powerful martial arts masters in the innate realm are far inferior to Luo Xiu in terms of the sophistication of their movements. After all, even though the minimum threshold for practicing the more powerful 6th-level martial arts is Qi Si level 7 or above, those who are truly qualified to practice it are generally martial arts masters in the realm of God refining. The team of Qingjia guards on the opposite side were dumbfounded and terrified. That was the captain of the Qi High level 7 realm, and he was killed in a second after a face-to-face encounter. And the body skills displayed by Luo Xiu could actually leave a residual image on the spot, appearing and disappearing like a ghost, which was really terrifying. Good boy, a Qi High level 7 can actually be killed with one sword. Ye Xiangdou raised his eyelids, and his evaluation of Luo Xiu in his heart was much higher. Although they were also Qi High level 7, the Qingjia guards killed by Luo Xiu were far inferior to those geniuses from big forces, but after all, they were also warriors who condensed their true Qi into entities, and they were 3 realms behind Luo Xiu. Seeing that the captain was killed in a face-to-face encounter, the remaining Qingjia guards began to retreat involuntarily. After all, no one wanted to die. Compared with their own lives, which one was more important? The order of the martial arts hall. Among the group of Qingjia guards on the opposite side, Luo Xiu saw a familiar figure, Su Qiusheng. Su Qiusheng had also broken through to the Qi High realm, but because of his average talent for cultivation, he had no chance to join the Xiaoyao outer sect, so after becoming a Qi High warrior, he joined the Qingjia Wei. "I don't want to kill you, you'd better get out of my way," Luo Xiu said coldly. At this moment, he was full of murderous intent and was merciless. The true Qi containing the power of death could directly damage the life veins. As long as he was touched by his sword, he would be either dead or injured. Moreover, his sword was as fast as lightning, and ordinary Qi High warriors could not dodge at all. If they were injured in the vital parts, they would die on the spot. "Don't be arrogant," another Qingjia Wei on horseback shouted coldly. "There are so many of us, and he is only one person. Everyone, come together. The martial hall has issued an order that there will be a heavy reward for killing Luo Xiu." Hearing this, many Qingjia Wei also reacted. "Yes, there are so many of us, and he is only one person. Are we still afraid of him?" However, this group of people did not know that there was already a team of Qingjia Wei, all of whom became the dead souls under Luo Xiu's sword. "Kill! Kill! Kill!" More than 20 Qingjia guards shouted together, and then rushed forward, rushing towards Luo Xiu. The Qingjia guard on horseback did not lead the way, but held a spear and circled around, looking for a suitable opportunity to attack. Obviously, the captain was killed by a sword before, which made him full of fear of the sword in Luo Xiu's hand. Puff! The sword light flashed, and the Qingjia guard's throat was cut in an instant. Then, the sword light did not pause at all, like the sickle of the god of death harvesting lives, and in a blink of an eye, 3 Qingjia guards were killed on the spot. With the blessing of the life and death polar chi, unless someone is wearing a human-level middle-grade armor, they will definitely not be able to withstand the sharpness of the shadow sword. The same level of armor is more expensive than the combat soldiers, so this group of Qingjia guards naturally cannot have it. The Qingjia they wear is just ordinary armor. After a moment, Luo Xiu continued to move forward. His black clothes were covered with bright red bloodstains, and behind him, there were corpses all over the ground. Among this team of Qingjia guards, only one person survived, that was Su Qiushen, because he did not attack Luo Xiu, and stood in the middle of the bloody corpses in a daze, as if he had lost his soul. 2 teams of Qingjia guards, more than 60 people, were killed in succession, which caused an uproar in Qingyun City. There are 3 teams of Qingjia guards in Qingyun City, with hundreds of people. When Luo Xiu came to the gate of the martial hall, the 3rd team of Qingjia guards appeared. The leader was Guan Yunjin, the leader of the Qingjia guards, who was a master of the 9th level of Qi Hai. The Qingjia guards under his command were also the strongest team, with the lowest cultivation level being the 4th level of Qi Hai, and there were also 3 people with the 7th level of Qi Hai. The 2 teams of Qingjia guards that were killed by Luo Xiu before were not as strong as the team of Qingjia guards led by Guan Yunjin. The door of the martial arts hall opened, and Luo Xiu saw his parents and sister. The swords in the hands of the 3 Qingjia guards were across their necks. Boom! The dark flame-like true energy bloomed on Luo Xiu's body, and the cold and terrifying breath of death spread. He was like a demon from hell. Ye Xiangdou glanced at Luo Xiu and frowned slightly. As far as he knew, this Luo Xiu should be practicing the pure Yang Gong, which is extremely strong in Yang. How could his true energy feel so gloomy? Not only that, the dark flame power on his body seemed to contain the power of fire attributes. Just as Ye Xiangdou was confused, Luo Xiu turned his head to look at him and bowed slightly. Please save my relatives, senior. Hearing this, Ye Xiangdou came back to his senses and said only one word, okay. As soon as the voice fell, his figure disappeared instantly, and then appeared next to Luo Xiu's parents and sister, while the 3 Qingjia guards fell to the ground, their lives extinguished. Who is it? Guan Yunjin's face changed greatly. No one present noticed how the white-bearded old man did it. He was undoubtedly a terrifying existence above the innate level. How did Luo Xiu invite such a strong man? At this time, Luo Xiu had already raised his sword to kill. Ye Xiangdou only helped him save people. Unless someone could threaten his life, Ye Xiangdou would not help him deal with other people. These people grabbed his parents and sister and threatened him with their lives. If he didn't kill them all, Luo Xiu's anger would be hard to calm down. The dark flames containing the power of death wrapped around the shadow sword. As soon as Luo Xiu came up, he attacked with all his strength without mercy. In the Dantian Qi Si, the wheel of life and death in the heavens rotated rapidly, and the true Qi of the 2 poles of life and death were all transformed into the true Qi of dark flames. However, this team of Qingjia guards was not comparable to the previous 2 teams. In addition, Luo Xiu was fighting all the way, and his energy was greatly depleted, and he fell into a hard battle for a while. As the saying goes, when manpower will eventually be exhausted. Luo Xiu is not omnipotent. No one dared to provoke Ye Xiangdou, the mysterious strong man, and everyone went to kill Luo Xiu. Puff. Luo Xiu was injured for the first time when his shoulder was stabbed by a spear. Immediately afterwards, rays of true energy bloomed, and the 3 7th-level Qi Sis shot at the same time. Together with the more powerful Qingjiawi commander Guan Yunjin, Luo Xiu was absolutely unable to resist calmly even when he was in his prime. Boom! Suddenly, a powerful aura descended, and terrible pressure spread across them. All the Qingjia guards were forced back, and they felt as if there was a huge mountain pressing on them, making it difficult to breathe. Ye Xiangdou appeared next to Luo Xiu. He just stood here and no one dared to make mistakes without taking action. Chapter 60 Huang Class Inferior. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Xiu. Seeing Luo Xiu covered in blood, his parents and sister looked worried. His sister Luo Xiuer came over to help him. Luo Xiu smiled and said, Sister, it's okay. Let's go. Ye Xiangdou said. As for the Qingjia guards in the martial palace, to him, they were just a bunch of rabble. At this moment, there was a commotion in front of the gate of Wujian. Shen Gaojian and the two elders of Wujian came out surrounded by a group of people. When he saw Ye Xiangdou beside Luo Xiu, Shen Gaojian's pupils suddenly shrank. There are 18 cities in Yunlong County, and each city has a martial arts hall, as well as branches of the 4 major guilds. Although Shen Gaojian had never met the president of the Qingyun City Hunter branch, it was not difficult to guess his origin because Ye Xiangdou had a 4-star hunter badge on his chest. Senior, is this President Yi? Shen Gaojian cupped his hands and clasped his fists. Exactly. Ye Xiangdou did not deny it. Shen Gaojian took a deep breath and said, President Yi is a strong master of martial arts. I dare not offend, but I still have the courage to ask. This Luo Xiu is the person who was ordered by the top of Xiaoyao Sect to be captured by me. Please also ask President Yi if you can hand this person over to me. Ye Xiangdou said expressionlessly, you must have heard about the bounty mission of my hunter guild, right? Shen Gaojian nodded, his face full of doubts. Since you know about the bounty mission, I have accepted the bounty mission issued by Luo Xiu. You can go back and tell Lu Feichen that if he wants to pursue the case, he should go to the Hunters Guild in Yunlong County. Ye Xiangdou said. What? Shen Gaojian was stunned for a moment. A bounty mission issued by Luo Xiu? Can he afford to ask a powerful martial arts master to take action? Not only him, but even Lu Feichen could never have imagined that such a change would happen. Everyone underestimated Luo Xiu, thinking that he was just a talented Qi realm warrior. He comes from a poor background and has no power to rely on, but he can actually issue a bounty mission and ask the martial arts master of the Hunter Guild to take action. Once the bounty mission is accepted, it means that Luo Xiu will be protected by the Hunter Guild. In Yunlong County, the hunter branches of the 18 cities are all under the management of the Hunters Guild of Yunlong County, and the president in Yunlong County City is a person that even the elders of the inner sect look up to. When the leader sees him, he must treat him as a junior. Even the Hunters Guild in Yunlong County is just a branch of the Hunters Guild in Yunlong County. In the face of the entire Hunter Guild, Xiaoyao Sect, which seemed to be the dominant force in Yunlong County, had to bow its head. Just when Shen Gaojian was still too shocked to recover, Ye Xiangdou and Luo Xiu's family had already left. From the beginning to the end, he did not dare to order anyone to take action, because the Hunters Guild, not to mention him, even Lu Feichen could never afford to offend it. After a long time, Shen Gaojian took out the sound transmission box with trembling hands and sent the message to Lu Feichen, the leader of the outer sect. Crack. After Lu Feichen, who was far away in Yunlong County, received the news, the sound transmission box in his hand was crushed to pieces in an instant. He didn't expect that the 100 secrets would eventually become sparse, and Luo Xiu could actually invite a powerful martial arts master and get the protection of the Hunters Guild. This undoubtedly laid the foundation for his future plans. Once the news that Luo Xiu is still alive is known to his daughter Mengyao, it will definitely affect whether he can obtain the support of the 3 elders Go. No wonder now Luo Xiu was able to rise in a short period of time. He reached the 3rd level of Qi from the 2nd level of body refining in half a year. He must have had a good opportunity, otherwise his amazing cultivation speed cannot be explained. And his strength at the 3rd level of Qi is stronger than that at the 7th level of Qi. The opportunity he got may be the inheritance and wealth left by the strong King Wu. Lu Feichen's face was gloomy and scary, and he regretted why he didn't take action in Yunlong County. However, Lu Feichen quickly calmed down and said secretly, the Hunters Guild cannot protect Luo Xiu all the time. The bounty tasks have a time limit. By then, as long as he is in the land of Yunlong County, he will still die after all. If he uses the teleportation array to leave Yunlong County, it will naturally not affect my plan. As long as I can get the support of the 3 people headed by Elder Go and the Master takes the position of leader, I will have a chance to break through to the realm of martial arts king. With this plan in Lu Feichen's mind, he no longer cared about whether his daughter Lu Mengyao would learn the truth about all this one day. Stepping into the realm of martial arts king has become Lu Feichen's obsession and inner demon. Qingyun City. Returning to the Hunters Guild, Ye Xiangdou used the teleportation array and went directly to the Hunters Guild branch in Yunlong County. In a secret room, Ye Xiangdou, the martial arts master, met the president of the Yunlong County Hunters Guild branch. The branches of the Hunter Guild also have detailed levels. They are generally divided into 9 levels, with level 1 being the lowest and level 9 being the highest. Above the 9-level branches, there is the headquarters. Tianwu Kingdom has 8 states and 13 counties. Among the 13 counties, each county has a first-level branch, and many branches under its jurisdiction are also ordinary first-level branches. In the 8 states, there are second-level branches. Only in the imperial capital of Tianwu Kingdom is there the only third-level branch. Depending on the level of the branch, the strength of the president who sits in charge varies greatly. The Qingyun City branch is only the lowest first-level branch, and there is Ye Xiangdou, a martial arts master at the third level of God refining, sitting in charge, which shows how powerful the entire Hunter Guild is. The president of the Yunlong County branch is at the third level of king. In the entire Yunlong County, only the leader Xiaoyao has a comparable level of cultivation. However, because of the special status of the Hunters Guild, the leader Xiaoyao is not as good as the branch president. In front of you, your posture should also be kept very low. You said that a little guy at the third level of Qi Si can kill a 7th level Qi Si with one sword in one hand. After hearing what Ye Xiangdou said, the chairman of the Yunlong County branch narrowed his eyes slightly with an expression of interest. The branch president looked like a middle-aged man in his 40s. He was wearing a Confucian scholar's gown. He looked gentle and elegant. Indeed. Ye Xiangdou said respectfully, then took out a book and said, "This is the information about Luo Xiu collected by my subordinates." The middle-aged Confucian man raised his hand, and with an invisible force, he grabbed the book and landed it in his palm. He opened it casually and frowned. A 14-year-old third-level Qihai. His talent is average. If someone hears this sentence, they will definitely be stunned, because after cultivating to the third level of Qi Si at the age of 14, even if he is placed in Xiaoyao inner sect, he is still a pretty good genius, but according to this middle-aged Confucian man, it can only be regarded as average. But when he continued to read, the expression on his face became richer. Interesting. From the age of 10 to 13, he only cultivated to the second level of physical training, but in just about half a year, he made rapid progress. Even if this little guy has accumulated a lot of experience and developed his martial arts talent relatively late, he must have gained a lot. The middle-aged Confucian man commented with a smile, looked at Ye Xiangdou and said, "You said he took out a 6th-grade martial arts and a low-grade fighting sword?" "Yes." Ye Xiangdou replied respectfully. Low-level warriors are generally in the hands of people in the realm of kings. They can also be held by a few top martial arts masters and geniuses from some big forces. In this small Yunlong County, you can get such an opportunity. Little guy, good luck. The Confucian man still smiled and said, "But luck is luck. Without enough talent, even if a great opportunity is in front of you, you will not be able to enjoy it." Yes, my subordinates also think that Luo Xiu has good talents and is worth cultivating, so he came to recommend him to the president. Ye Xiangdou said, "The Hunters Guild is so powerful that it naturally requires the support of strong people, so it will also absorb talents for training and consolidate the status of the Hunters Guild. However, the Hunter Guild has extremely high requirements for geniuses. Those so-called geniuses who are regarded as treasures by Xiaoyao's sect are not qualified to be absorbed by the Hunter Guild." The Confucian man nodded. From the current point of view, this Luo Xiu is barely qualified to be recruited as an internal member. According to the genius level, he is tentatively classified as a lower-level Huang level. He looked at Ye Xiangdou and said, "It's up to you to tell him about this matter." "Yes." Ye Xiangdou responded respectfully. After Ye Xiangdou left, the Confucian man put down the book about Luo Xiu and said with a smile, "I have been here in Yunlong County for more than 70 years to take charge of the branch. This is the first time I have found a genius worth cultivating. I hope this little guy won't let me down." At the same time, at the Hunter branch in Qingyun City, Luo Xiu was also comforting his parents and sister. After all, they are ordinary people who do not have the qualifications to practice martial arts. After being frightened by this, even though they have been rescued, they are still a little shaken. Boom! 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 Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Luo Xiu opened the door and saw Ye Xiangdou, a powerful martial arts master. Luo Xiu, come with me. Ye Xiangdou said. Luo Xiu did not doubt his presence and followed Ye Xiangdou to a quiet room. Sit. After Ye Xiangdou sat down, he pointed to the chair opposite him. Luo Xiu did not refuse, thanked him, and sat opposite Ye Xiangdou. Luo Xiu, just now, I went to the Yunlong County branch and told the president of the branch about you. Ye Xiangdou said, I thought you had good talent, so I recommended you to the president of the branch. The president also nodded and said that he could recruit you as an internal member of the Hunter Guild. You have to know that only the president of the branch has the right to recruit geniuses to become internal members. In the past 100 years of Yunlong County, no one has ever been qualified to be recruited. Hearing this, Luo Xiu's expression was startled. Add me as an internal member of the Hunter Guild. Yes, our Hunter Guild is based in this world, so we naturally need the support of strong people, and strong people all grow up step by step from geniuses. Ye Xiangdou said with a smile, there are two types of internal members of the Hunter Guild, one is genius and the other is outside recruits. For example, I am an external recruit. After I broke through to the realm of God refining, I applied to join the Hunters Guild. Only after the guild confirms that I am not a spy sent by other forces can I become a member of the guild. And geniuses are similar to you. They are extremely talented, have the potential to be cultivated, and have no suspicious background. As long as they can grow up, they will occupy a high position in the future and their status in the guild will be higher than that of us outsiders. Recruitment is much higher. What are the benefits of becoming an internal member of the Hunter Guild? Luo Xiu asked directly. Ye Xiangdou didn't care about Luo Xiu's direct inquiry, and explained, according to the assessment of the branch president, your genius level is tentatively rated as lower yellow level. As long as you join the guild, the first benefit is, it's about the guild unconditionally protecting the safety of your loved ones. Because the growth of geniuses often requires fighting and training, and it is common to make enemies with others, so the guild is responsible for allowing you to practice and improve without any worries. Of course, in addition to this, there are also differences in treatment depending on the genius level. A low-level Huang level genius can acquire 3 martial arts that are suitable for the current level of cultivation at once, including internal strength, martial arts, and body skills. Now that you are at the 3rd level of Qi Si, you can acquire 3 5th-grade martial arts. If you already have a martial arts that suits you, you can choose to keep this opportunity and wait until your cultivation reaches the 1st level of Xiantian to choose 6th-grade martial arts, or reach the 7th level of Xiantian and choose 7th-grade martial arts. Hearing this, Luo Xiu was slightly surprised. You can get 7th-level martial arts with the 7th level of innateness, that because as far as he knew, to obtain the inheritance of 6th-grade martial arts in Xiaoyao Sect, one needs to be in the realm of God refining or to be a core disciple, and to be qualified to practice 7th-grade martial arts, one must be in the lineage of the leader. Ye Xiangdou nodded and said, this is the difference between geniuses and members recruited from outside. Geniuses are valued more than members recruited from outside. But every year, the guild will make a new judgment on your genius level. If you can no longer meet the requirements, you will be given up on training. Ye Xiangdou continued.